Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones said today on 105.3 The Fan about the future of his coaching staff. Quote, "The hay is in the barn as far as our staff is concerned." McCarthy's contract ends on January the 14th. Former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel interviewed with the Jets today concerning their head coaching vacancy. Vrabel could be a potential Cowboys candidate if they moved on from McCarthy. And Spurs play the Nuggets tonight at 8.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel still on vacation. I'm Jason Minix, live out at the South Texas RV Super Sale at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Goes till 8 o'clock tonight. And I tell you what, you walk in here and you see all these RVs. You know, we're inside near the snack bar and near the restroom because Greg Shelton did not know that Reinagel was off today. And Reinagel does have it in his contract. He's got to be near porcelain. I like to be near a snack bar where they actually have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the menu at the snack bar. You don't see that every day. Nacho, sure. Hot dog, hamburger, a PB&J. I still got a hot dog earlier. I was thinking about it, but $5 peanut butter and jelly, I'd rather get a $4 hot dog. But you guys can come out here and do the same. And then you look at, and Sierra's inside the parking lot. I mean, all these RVs, the amount of people here. And I tell you what, you see these at tailgates, you see these camping. I know there are people that this is their lifestyle. I'm not there yet until I come to an event like this. And I think maybe I could do that. There's some in there. I promise you, they're nicer than James Pledger's apartment and probably have more room than James Pledger's apartment. It is incredible. I've got some friends in a band, and about, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, they decided instead of a bus or a van, they got an RV and then outfitted it like it's a sleeper bus, and that's how they travel the country because it's easier and it's cheaper and it's better. So the whole RV situation is there, and then again, if you've got a lot of time on your hands, I know Mike McCarthy is busy this weekend, but around 3:30 on Sunday, he's going to be done. As at least for this season, so he could get on his private jet, come down here and get an RV, because who knows if he's going to have time to go RVing, if he's going to remain the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And you look at this weekend, the final weekend of the regular season. It's weird that it's our final football Friday of the NFL regular season because colleges are already in the playoffs. The NFL will be in the playoffs starting on a Sunday night, and a couple of good games. One game Sunday night that the song says, waiting all day for Sunday night. Truly, that's what we're all going to have to do for the best game of the weekend, which is why they flexed it to Sunday night football. And certainly the game this weekend that has the most meaning and looks like the best matchup. And, everybody's going to play, and it's going to be incredible, that Sunday night game. But also, we're going to start looking and seeing what coaches are going to get fired. And it's always such a weird time of year because I think deep down, most of us don't want to see people lose their jobs. But in the NFL, in the coaching world, guys getting fired is a part of the business. And, Sunday, Monday into Tuesday, you're going to see 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 jobs come open, depending on where you look. I mean, listening to that Rome fill-in, which we'll not hear again because we start with the Rich Eisen show on Monday from noon to 2, and he's talking about a topic that is legit, at least out of Philadelphia. If the Eagles are bounced early, Nick Sirianni, despite his winning percentage, could be out. It's bizarre, but Nick Sirianni, I mean, earlier this year, they were 2-2, and they were questioning whether or not he was going to be able to keep his job. So even teams in the playoffs doesn't necessarily mean their coaches are going to be there. I find it hard to believe, but you look and you read some of the different reporters out there in Pittsburgh. If Mike Tomlin gets bounced in the first round again, could the Steelers actually look at moving on from Mike Tomlin? I don't see it happening. It's just not Pittsburgh style. But at some point, do the Steelers owner say, dude, Mike, I mean, you're always 500. You always get to the playoffs, but you got to do something in the playoffs. And it's been a long time since the Steelers have won a playoff game. Again, I don't buy it, but it's rumors out there. I think a lot of coaches are on the hot seat, or, at least they perceive to be on the hot seat. But I do know when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, the Joneses have done a nice job of not giving us any indication on which way they are leaning as far as, do they bring Mike McCarthy back and give him an extension, or do they let his contract expire and go from there? And I find it, it's so bizarre, although I get it. He's got a job and he's got a coach until his contract is up. Well, that's technically Sunday, although technically not. His contract, according to the NFL Network, expires on January 14th. So when you think about how the Cowboys treated Jason Garrett, now, it felt like January 14th for Jason Garrett. It felt like 6 years ago, we did show after show waiting to see. And, Jason Garrett going to the office every day. And what's he doing? Who knows? Because he didn't get an extension. And then eventually his key card did work. Well, I saw the Athletic reported yesterday, as much as that felt like it was a couple weeks, it was January 5th when Jason Garrett's contract that year officially expired. So it was 5-6 days of what's happening. The Cowboys have Mike McCarthy under contract until January 14th. So it's going to be very interesting to watch over the next 2 weeks until we get clarity one way or another from the Joneses. Is, believe it or not, there are teams said to be interested in Mike McCarthy if he becomes available. The Chicago Bears have popped up on that list as a team that would be interested in Mike McCarthy if the Cowboys don't retain him. Now, keep in mind, Mike McCarthy, unless there's some weird clause in his contract that none of us know about, has the option. Does he want to stay in Dallas, or, hey, let my contract expire? I'm tired of the circus, Jerry. Even though Mike McCarthy has given no indication that he's tired of the circus, and he talks about loving Dallas and living there and raising his family there and everything about being a part of the Cowboys. But Mike McCarthy has a lot of say in this too. He might look at an opportunity and say, you know what, I'd rather go over there. You know what, I'd rather go over there. So we'll see. But with this contract, according to Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, not expiring until January 14th, if the Bears want to talk to him next week, they have permission from the Dallas Cowboys in order to talk to Mike McCarthy because he's under contract. So we all know these things, how it works. So the Cowboys would either have to grant permission for Mike McCarthy to go interview, or the chicken bleep thing. What if they denied him permission to go talk to the Chicago Bears and then didn't re-sign him? So we might get indications from the Cowboys on which way they're leaning, even if they don't tell us, based on other teams' interest in Mike McCarthy. And I know some of you might be rolling your eyes on that, but there are going to be other teams that are interested in Mike McCarthy. And I've kind of gone back and forth. Several weeks ago, he was done. I'm figuring out who the next guy is going to be. Now you look at what this team has done towards the stretch run, and as Jerry said today, hay's in the barn. It doesn't matter what happens on Sunday. They kind of know what they're doing, even though they're not telling us. Does he come back? Because, again, if you're going to replace somebody, you got to replace with somebody that's better. Mid-October, midway point of the season, I didn't know if Mike Zimmer was going to make it through the season, but you see how that defense has played over the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, starting to learn his system. Has he earned a chance to come back? Mike Zimmer, you listen to Jerry, likely wants to be a head coach again and probably will be a head coach again because the NFL is known to retread these guys left and right. So this weekend is going to be fascinating, not necessarily for what you see on the field, because we might see a lot of bad football because a lot of teams are going to treat this like a preseason game, but also what coaches are going to be available. What way, who's available for interviews, but more importantly, which jobs are going to be open. And you start looking at that, candidate pool. Does Ron Rivera excite you more than Mike McCarthy? Does Mike Zimmer getting promoted to head coach? Does that excite you? I think Ben Johnson is the one name that I think everybody gets excited about. And he's the one guy that you think has no chance in hell in coming to the Dallas Cowboys. It's bizarre this year. It's almost like you look at all these quarterbacks that are going to be in the draft this year, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, and none of those guys would have been first-round picks last year. And they might not be first-round picks next year. But this year, they're going to be first-round picks, and teams are always desperate at draft time that need a quarterback. So one of these, they're going to get taken in the first round. This is that weird year where there's not like 4 or 5 hot coordinators that everybody's excited about. A year ago, Bobby Slowick's name was on that list of hot coordinator. Not anymore. Now, even Texans fans are ready to get rid of Bobby Slowick. But last year, that Texan fan was do everything they can to keep Bobby Slowick because he was going to be destined to be a head coach. That's the way the coaching business works. It is interesting. So, this year, Mike McCarthy, the timing of it, is there a better candidate out there than Mike McCarthy for the Dallas Cowboys? You look at who's available, who you think is available. It'd be hard-pressed to say that. You look at Mike Vrabel is going to interview at a lot of places. Ron Rivera already has. And I've met Ron Rivera a couple times. He's a nice guy. He doesn't excite you. But if you hire a Vrabel, if you hire a Ron Rivera, who's going to be your offensive coordinator? Because they're defensive-minded coaches. With Lil Kellamore coming back as a head coach, does that excite you? Cowboys are ready to get rid of him, and last year, offense seemed to be better without him. This year, what the hell happened to Mike McCarthy and his play-calling abilities? And that's the other part of it with Mike McCarthy is he's not only your head coach, but also your offensive coordinator, your play caller. So a lot to be determined here in the next, it's the Cowboys, so I don't want to put a timeline on it. You would think you would have some clarity very early on in the week, but it's the Cowboys. And knowing how they treated Jason Garrett, if they do Mike McCarthy the same way, if his contract doesn't expire until the 14th, Jerry's going to make his ass show up for work every day until the 14th, even if he's not going to be the coach of the team like he did at Jason Garrett. So then you start looking to see, do they grant him permission to go interview at other places? Going to be very, very interesting to see. And then you think about, they do have another game to play. They got Washington coming up on Sunday. Listening to Mike McCarthy this morning with Rob Thompson on the Morning Huddle, they're playing to win. He's a competitor. He always wants to go play to win. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz, live at the South Texas RV Super Show at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Doors open tonight until 8 o'clock. And then, of course, it runs all weekend, Saturday 10 to 8, and on Sunday, the final day, 10 to 6. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting this Monday, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky, co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/trial50. That's thefarmersdog.com/trial50.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. C.J. Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon, the Cowboys take on the Washington Commanders.
I like this kind of party.
Pregame starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Eagle on vacation. I'm Jason Minix, live out at the South Texas RV Super Sale happening at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. The show goes until 8 o'clock tonight. 10 to 8 tomorrow, then 10 to 6 on a Sunday. But come hang out with us on this Friday. Kind of the end of a weird week because we had a couple of days, then a weekend in the middle of the week, then a couple more days, and now the weekend is here. So come hang out. A lot of people already down here taking advantage of, I guess a day off. The way traffic was on 1604, nobody's at work. So might as well come down here and see some RVs here. So if you get stuck in traffic, you can just go in the back and take a nap or put the game on. Texas State, North Texas coming up at 3 o'clock. We'll keep you updated on the score of that game. It will be live over on San Antonio's ESPN AM 1250. Our bowl coverage brought to you by Smoky Mo's Barbecue, the Break Room Bar in Live Oak, and Ewald Kubota. Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Wade will join us coming up at 2:35. In about 15 minutes, we'll talk with Wade Phillips. The Brahmas schedule released yesterday. They're getting close to training camp. Always fun to catch up with Wade. And you look at this weekend, and, in the NFL, now Wade's son is the OC there at Minnesota. They got a game that really, really matters this week. Most teams don't. The Cowboys don't, although I guess Washington has some seeding in play. So you look at the Cowboys and you go, all right, are we going to see Trey Lance in this game? Are we going to see some of these other young players? And Mike McCarthy told Rob Thompson this morning he's on every Friday morning on the Morning Huddle, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, that he is not treating this game like a preseason game.
When you line up each week, you want to play to win. So we're not treating this like a preseason game by no means. Mm-hmm. So, we want to go out and win the game. And the other thing too is, these young players that are here that, that may get an opportunity Sunday, they've been practicing and they've been pushing to be up each and every week. And, it's not, we've had a lot of injuries, but we still, have come down to the end of the week where, we have 48 spots on Sunday, but there's probably 51 guys that have pushed to play. So, and it'd be nice to get some of those guys an opportunity. So they've been ready to play. They've been on the cusp of playing. So it's not like we're going to try out with a guy that's a lot less prepared to go into the game.
Well, all right. So you hear that, not necessarily specific to a Trey Lance, but I'm with you. I want to see Trey Lance play. Why not? I've seen Cooper Rush play. I asked Stephen Jones on the Blitz yesterday if we would see Trey Lance Sunday against Washington.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we gave up a 4th-round pick to have him in there for insurance for Dak in case we didn't get Dak signed. And, he's obviously got a great pedigree being picked in the 1st round, and we've had him here for 2 years. And, we just got to continue to evaluate where he's going to be. He's obviously not going to be a starter for us anytime soon, short of injury. Because we've made a huge commitment to Dak over the next 4 years. So, it is what it is in terms of when you make those moves, and it was very strategic in terms of giving us insurance and protection if for some reason we were unable to get Dak signed. But we still want to see what Trey's all about, and I know Trey's got a bright future in this league. He just, the biggest thing he does need is to play, and he didn't play a lot in college, and he hadn't played a lot in the in the NFL. So, I think his air is still straight up, and he's just got to continue to look for opportunities to get on the field.
Well, and so one of those opportunities would be Sunday against Washington. I asked Steven straight up, do you want to see Trey Lance play?
Well, those are all things that we're considering as we head toward Sunday. And, a lot of young guys are having to play, not because, we want them to necessarily play, but, we've just had so many injuries this year that a lot of guys, have gotten tapped on the shoulder, if you will, to go in there and get after it. And then, so a lot of our guys are playing a lot, and that's great for all of them. And guys are stepping up and making statements, and all that's a huge positive as we look to the future.
Well, and all right, so you look at that, and all right, maybe we'll see Trey Lance. Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan this morning would not commit to saying whether it would be Cooper or Trey Lance.
We're, for obviously, if you will, competitive reasons, we're basically not saying until game day.
That's stupid. I mean, honestly, it's not like we're getting ready for a playoff game. It's not like Dan Quinn isn't completely aware of what Trey Lance is or isn't and is we got to change the entire defense. I know they're going to play to win the game. I get it there. Or could it be because Cooper Rush has a sizable bonus that is on the line Sunday against Washington? Now, you think about this. Now, you look up and you think about, okay, Cooper Rush has played 52.5% of the downs this year. He's got a bonus of $500,000 if he gets to 55%, which means he would likely have to play most of the game against Washington to get that bonus. And if the reported bonus structures and play time are accurate, the idea that the Cowboys have a decision to make, they could easily save $500,000 and roll Trey Lance out there. Or they could be like, Cooper, you've earned it. We're going to play you because we want to write you that check for $500,000. Which, again, if you're one of those players in the locker room, if you're a free agent, you look around the league this weekend. And I know USA Today had an article the other day listing all these achievable or attainable bonuses that guys within reach of. Like Mike Evans in Tampa Bay has a handful of bonuses that could get him an extra $3.5 million based on what he does in the game on Sunday. Does Tampa Bay do everything they can to get him that money? Do the Cowboys do what they can to get Cooper Rush that $500,000? Because players pay attention to that. When you put those bonuses in there, you want to make sure, especially if they're playing time bonuses, that you don't get benched or you miss out on some snaps and miss it by yay much. Now, I guess they could restructure and still write the check if they want to. But what's more important to the Cowboys? Making sure Cooper gets that achievable bonus with playing time that they certainly didn't want to have to, pay at the beginning of the year because they wanted a fully functioning Dak Prescott. But, there is $500,000 there. And quite frankly, Cooper Rush has earned it. He kept them afloat for a while. And a couple of years ago, he did a great job of keeping them afloat. He is a game-ready backup quarterback. That's what he is. And next year, is he going to be back as the backup quarterback? Well, depending on what you really think of Trey Lance, maybe you would rather have Cooper Rush. You bench him this week and he misses out on that $500,000. Maybe he decides to go elsewhere to be a backup quarterback next year and be a game-ready backup for somebody else. And we know that the Cowboys like him. I mean, he was there. He left, spent that brief time with the New York Giants with Jason Garrett, and then he came right back. I mean, he fits the Cowboys culture and everything that they want to do. But it is kind of interesting. Then you hear Jerry talking about bonuses and how bonuses like what Cooper has, how that affects the overall team.
No, it doesn't work that way, I'll tell you. It's usually a look at the past and see where they are. My understanding is that he's done well with his bonus so far this year. Now, he just by the nature of things, his bonus was structured that if something went awry with Dak, then he would have a better opportunity to create a bonus situation. Those are all team. That's for the team. Those are for the team. Those are to create the ability to get players and get them in position. And so usually I've never minded paying a bonus out because that meant the team was doing better or doing well because they were making a contribution that was possibly thought about when they made their contract, and it's come about. But that's the look at bonuses is always, in my experience, total hindsight and never as you would look forward on a game-to-game basis.
As I don't know, with Jerry making sense there, generally things are going well, you win 12 games, you don't mind writing those checks. You don't win 12 games, you're under 500 and out in the playoffs, maybe you don't want to write those checks. It's going to be interesting to see ultimately who plays on Sunday. At this point, I just want to see Trey Lance play just to see. I think I know that it's going to be bad. I just want to see how bad it could really be. And we could just pile on Jerry even more for giving up a 4th-round pick for that dumbass move. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Coming up, a guy who's had that brutal conversation with Jerry Jones before. He's told us those stories. So we'll talk about the Brahmas and just what it's like coaching at this time of year in the NFL when you are not headed to the postseason. Wade Phillips joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Joel, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Live at the South Texas RV Super Sale here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. We're on the air till 6. They're going to be going till 8 o'clock tonight. Then tomorrow from 10 until 8 on Sunday, 10 to 6 for the South Texas RV Super Sale. And these things, I see them a lot in the parking lot at the Alamo Dome for all the tailgating. Always fun when you're doing it that way, or nice road trips. But you talk about the Dome, you talk about tailgating. San Antonio Brahmas, we know when they're going to be in the Alamo Dome for those tailgates because the UFL schedule got released yesterday. Let's talk about it with the head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, Coach Wade Phillips, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Coach, how's your holidays been?
It's been great. Yeah, it's been great so far. Yeah, we're enjoying it.
Traveling a lot, and I know, with your son there with the Minnesota Vikings, you've been up there quite a bit, and you think about this weekend in the NFL, there's one game that really seems to matter, and that's that Sunday night game. What's it like as an NFL coach going into the final week of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have a chance to, be in the playoffs. Of course, they're already in, but it's exciting to know where you're going to be in the playoffs and get that process started. So really exciting for them because they have a chance to be the number 1 seed, and that's a key position.
Well, it is. And I mean, in the story of Minnesota this year with Sam Darnold, that might be the best in the NFL. For coaches that aren't in the playoffs, how difficult is this week? And with so many, and nobody wants to see people get fired, but we all know in the football business it's going to happen. Do you think most of those guys know their fate going into Sunday, or do they truly have to wait until Monday or Tuesday?
I think most of the time, I mean, it's always rumored, or, people are out there, newspapers or media or so forth, are saying you're going to get fired, but you don't know until the owner says, and they usually wait till after the season.
They don't normally wait till the end of the season, and then it's just being a pro, right? You got one more game, go out and do everything you can to try to win it.
Yeah, same thing with the players. You say you're not playing for anything, but you're playing, for the next season to see what kind of player you are and see if you can improve even that last game.
Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, with us here on the Blitz. The UFL schedule gets released yesterday. How much advance notice did you see on this schedule, and your first reaction when you saw it starting with 4 road games?
Yeah, I didn't know that at all. but that's the way the schedule came out. So we'll deal with it.
And I think a big part of that, and for fans that are listening, with the Final Four in San Antonio, the Dome's going to be busy. So those first 2 weeks, the Alamo Dome is taken up with, the Final Four. It's a busy place. And I think for most leagues, teams, you see, man, you've got to start with 4 road games. That's brutal. But the way the UFL works with the hub city, the fact that you guys will practice in Arlington, does it matter? I mean, you're still getting on a plane to go for a game, whether it's at home or on the road.
Yeah, and we're both on the same plane, as a matter of fact, so, which makes it really interesting. But yeah, both teams are flying to wherever or busing to wherever. So you're sort of on the road until you get there, and then of course the fans still make a difference. So we want our fans to really show up this year in the Alamo Dome when we play at home.
Well, and again, so the first home game, while the season starts March 29th, first home game is on a Sunday, April 27th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you've got 2 Friday home games, May 9th and May 16th, and then another Sunday, 11 a.m. On June 1 for the 4 home games that you guys get this year inside the Alamo Dome. As a coach, when you look at the schedule, do you start dissecting and thinking about practices, or is it just, all right, that's what it is, let's go?
No, that's what it is. I mean, whatever it is, we've got to adjust to. The good thing is we have some of the guys we had last year, they're familiar with our coaching style and what we're playing offensively and defensively and the schedule itself, flying on the same plane or busing to San Antonio.
Well, and the idea, the only real quirk that I saw that I was like, man, that's brutal. You play Sunday, May 4th in Birmingham, and then Friday, May 9th in San Antonio. So you go from a Sunday to a Friday. You talk about a short week. That's almost like when you were coaching the Cowboys, playing on Sunday and then Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, Thursday games, they play a lot of them in the NFL nowadays. So, it's a shorter week, but, you got to get both teams have to get ready for a shorter week.
Yeah, perfect. Wade Phillips joining us here.
They're not practicing in Birmingham all week, They're practicing in like you said, in Arlington, just like we are.
Yeah, and like you said, same plane. So how does that work on the plane? Knucklehead question, just throwing it out of left field. When you guys are on the same plane, and but how do you decide who's kind of in the front of the plane, or is it one team on the left side and one team on the right? Do you cut it at the wing? I mean, how do you divvy up who sits where on that plane?
Yeah, we're always in the back of the plane. We're always in the back of the bus, so we know that going in, because it's a home team. So the home team gets the front part of the plane.
Okay, so all right, so then the road team in the back, and then what do you put
Right.
the coaches in the middle just to make sure there's no fighting?
I do have to talk to our players, especially after a game when we beat that team. I don't want anything said after the game that it can cause any kind of problem. So I do talk to my team after we play on the road and on the flight to make sure that nothing comes up. I don't want anything said after the game that we won the game. Let's just enjoy it ourselves.
Well, absolutely, because I could see where, being on planes, seeing some of that, I could see where you would have to have an enforcer, if you will, just to make sure everything is smooth. I mean, there was a story this year about teammates. I think it was the Auburn basketball team. They had to turn the plane around because some teammates got into a fight.
Right, yeah.
It happens.
After beating the other team and then being there with them can be a problem, but we haven't had them.
Yeah. All right, so looking at your roster right now, and I know you guys have been busy while, we're all waiting for the season. You guys are working on this basically year-round. How many players do you currently have signed that you're ready to take to training camp? How many more do you expect to sign?
I think overall we have 65 for training camp, but we have about 58 guys right now. But one of them is familiar with San Antonio, and certainly Texas A&M is Kellen Mond, our quarterback. So we're excited about having him.
Well, and to be able to get a Kellen Mond, and and I think this is what this league is perfect for. Great quarterback at Reagan, then went to IMG Academy, A&M, was in Minnesota for a while, bounced around a little bit in the NFL, but the guy needs reps. I look at a guy like Trey Lance. He needs reps. The idea to get a quarterback the caliber of Kellen Mond to come play for the Brahmas, how much convincing did you have to do with him that this league is good for him? Yes, it's not the NFL, but this could help you get back to the NFL and be more productive there?
Yeah, I think he was excited about it, and I think he should be. It gives those guys a chance to play. I mean, they get to see them play. They get to get that experience that they need, So I think it works both ways. It helps us, obviously, but it'll help him too.
Well, and obviously they're looking, you got some running backs it looks like that are signed to come back. Is that the challenge for you right now, making sure who is actually coming back and who doesn't sign with an NFL team?
Right. We had obviously had a lot of good players, and some of them want to keep playing. Some of them want to keep the opportunity. And not all of them, everybody thinks they all want to go to the NFL, which they probably do, but some of them just want to keep playing football. They enjoy football. They've played well throughout their lives, and they don't want to quit yet. So we're glad to have those kind of guys back too.
Well, and getting your kicker back, destroying probably the most famous guy, at least with the social media following in the UFL. The brutal injury last year, the fact that he's coming back is exciting for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. He's got the little bit we had him at, he was tremendous. He had tremendous legs, great attitude, and but we're going to try to keep him from trying to make tackles.
Well, see, I figure you've got it. Come on, Coach. Wade Phillips, defensive-minded guy, you got to teach him how to tackle without, breaking every bone in his body.
Yeah, well, he's not very big. So we'll let the other guys do the tackling.
All right, so tell me about the guys that are doing the tackling. You're excited to get some back, but who new did you add that you're most pumped about seeing them in that Brahma uniform?
Well, Kellen Mond, number one, I think, just to have him and his abilities and, and everybody's familiar with him. And I am too, seeing him, win at A&M when he was there and being a great quarterback there. So I'm looking forward to seeing him just continue his career.
What is timeline for you guys? Schedule is out. First game is March 29th. When do you hit training camp?
We hit training camp the players report 27th of February, so we'll start practicing right after that.
So about a month to get ready. February 20th. I'm writing this down because I asked the question I should have known the answer to. So February 27th, but all up in Arlington again, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Now I think we're going to come practice a couple of days in San Antonio, which we wanted to do. I asked to do that, where fans can come watch our team practice.
Which is always one thing I will say. You especially have done such a good job of embracing the city of San Antonio. Even though you guys practice and live in Arlington, this is your home, and you guys treat it that way, which I think most fans certainly appreciate.
Well, yeah, I love San Antonio anyway, but we love our fans there, and if we can be close to them, we'd like to be. Hopefully one day we'll be able to just practice down there.
True home field, the 4 home games. So for between now and February 27th, what's on the schedule for Wade Phillips? A lot of travel, little vacation, or following the Vikings as far as they go?
Well, I'll be following the Vikings. Yeah, I just got back from Minnesota, but we're getting our coaches meetings together and so forth, starting now. So we've got a lot of things to do before we get to training camp.
A lot of things to do before it's nonstop, and probably league meetings and whatnot. So no big vacation between now and training camp starting February 27th.
No, we'll have our vacation after the season. So it's a good program for me. I get to coach football for half a year, and then get to watch football the other half with my son.
All right. Now, I know you're biased with Minnesota there, but as you look at the playoff teams out there, who are you expecting to be in New Orleans?
Wow. Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think the winner of this Detroit Minnesota game will have home field advantage. So I think that team will have a pretty good shot at it. AFC, I mean, if the Chiefs can do it again, I'll be surprised, but because it's so hard to do, but it'd be amazing if they got to the Super Bowl again.
It would be, especially although last year I didn't think they were a Super Bowl looking team around this time, and then they end up there. I like Buffalo, but they've got to get there. Baltimore, I mean, but that's why we play the games, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what makes it fun. Nobody knows who's going to win it, really.
It's the beauty of it. Although, don't tell that to the NFL script writers. Now, one other coach, one other coach question for you, Wade Phillips. If you're Nick Sirianni and you've got Saquon Barkley 101 yards away from breaking the single-season rushing record, do you sit him this week, or do you give him a chance to go get that record?
Well, you really, when you look at it, it's about players. It's about people. If it's important enough to him, I would talk with him. If it's important enough to him, then I'd let him try to do it. I think it's players first. When I'm a coach, it's players first.
Well, and you look, I mean, some records, sure, but that particular record, there are some records, I think, that are a little bit more special, and you try to go get them. I mean, Eric Dickerson has had that record for 40 years, and right. Saquon could do it against his former team. He said all the right things, but you could almost tell, like he said, it's more important to his family. But, you just kind of feel like even the offensive lineman, it feels like everybody in that building wants him to go get that record, except for Sirianni wants to put him in bubble wrap. Although, you know what it's like as a coach, if he goes out and gets hurt, they might fire him on the spot.
Yeah. Well, I still say, if the player, if something really important to the player, I think you've got to let him try to do it. And I think it is important to him. So, like you said, that's one of the records that hadn't been broken. So, not many opportunities to do that.
And the idea that he'll get another crack at it, probably not likely either, because, of the 2,000-yard rushers, nobody's really had a second crack at getting this close to breaking that record. So I would say let him go play, even though I know he's risking injury and it's team first. And, if they don't win the Super Bowl, boy, I tell you, if they win the Super Bowl, you can, all right, Nick, you made the right call. If they don't win the Super Bowl, and that why as a head coach, you get paid the big bucks, because you've got to make that decision.
Yeah, that's true. Good
deal.
I think it's something that, of course, it'll be broken pretty soon when they go to 20-game season. So,
all right. Now you bring up another point, because people are talking about, like, Eric broke OJ's record, but OJ did it in 14 games. But I look at number of carries right now. Saquon's at 345. I think Eric Dickerson was at 379. I don't think he would need 34 carries against the Giants to break the record. So would you look at a number of carries for the yardage, or do you look at the number of games?
Oh, I don't know. The record's a record, The ones that are amazing are the guys only played 14 games and they still hold the record. Or 12 games, so it's crazy.
Yeah, man, the 12-game season. Although you've got a 10-game season now, it won't be long before the UFL is up to 14, 16, 18, right?
Well, it could expand that way. I think more likely we'll expand a couple more teams, but I don't know if we'll expand the season much longer.
Well, I tell you what, I can't wait to get the UFL season going. Again, the Brahmas open March 29th on the road against Arlington. Their first home game not until April 27th against Houston. And I'm sure on Wednesdays with Wade, we'll talk about how important that one is for you guys, because anytime you can beat Houston, I know it makes you smile.
I guarantee you that. I want all the San Antonio fans there for that game, because we want to beat Houston for sure.
Sunday, April 27th. Wade Phillips, always great catching up. Looking forward to Wednesdays with Wade and doing it on a random Friday or whenever as we get close to the start of the regular season and training camp starting on February 27th. Coach, enjoy your football weekend. Thanks for jumping on.
You bet. Happy New Year, Jason.
Happy New Year, Coach. Wade Phillips here on the Blitz on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Always fun at catching up with Wade Phillips. Sometimes a little careful with the stories he wants to go with, but you could tell where he's leaning there. And I'm still surprised Nick Sirianni is not going to play Saquon this weekend against the New York Giants. Maybe he'll change his mind and go from there. It'll be good stuff. Again, Brahmas' schedule is out. Get your tickets. It's going to be a fun season for the Brahmas as they try to win that championship this year with a lot of players coming back. I'm really excited to see what that offense can do with Kellen Mond. Watching that kid at Reagan, following his journey. And again, that's what this league is for. At one point, I think the NFL and the UFL are going to strike an agreement that will allow players to transfer in, still maintain their NFL ability, but go get reps in the UFL, because that's what it's there for. Trey Lance is a prime example. From what I've been told, one of the big things is the insurance. If they're on loan and they get hurt, who's responsible for paying that contract? So, eventually they'll come up with an agreement, hopefully, and be able to work that out. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, live at the South Texas RV Super Sale here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Goes till 8 o'clock tonight, 10 to 8 tomorrow, and Sunday, the final day, 10 to 6. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding I-10 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com. South Texas, get ready. The legendary Rich Eisen debuts on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star this Monday. Rich delivers breaking stories and exclusive interviews every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available in both tablets and as a delicious gummy. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer. Coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
It's playoff time, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app's really simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projection, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in more than 40 states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Alamo and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code Alamo on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to get the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight as they take on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Tip-off from Denver is set for 8. The Spurs will be without Jeremy Sohan, who is dealing with a back injury. Former Titans coach Mike Vrabel interviewed with the Jets today concerning their head coaching vacancy. Vrabel could be a potential candidate for the Cowboys if they move on from McCarthy, whose contract expires January the 14th.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel on vacation today. Joe's going to be back on Monday. Of course, on Monday, we will have the Rich Eisen Show debuting right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, taking over that noon to 2 slot from Jim Rome. So starting Monday, Rich Eisen here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, leading into the Blitz, which is staying 2 to 6. Of course, you got the Morning Huddle, then Greeny, then the Rich Eisen Show, the Blitz, then Extra Innings with Pledge. And, no Monday Night Football this week because all the football, we got, two games on Saturday, not single games, national TV audience, and then Sunday a full slate of games leading up to that great Sunday night game that we're all waiting for. Detroit and Minnesota, 1 seed on the line, NFC North title on the line, starts at 6:30 on a Sunday night. Brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Of course, noon we'll have the Cowboys game. Cowboys in Washington, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. The final weekend of the NFL regular season. And it's bizarre. I was telling my wife last night while we were watching Ole Miss destroy a Duke team that was ravaged by the portal. I don't even know if their coach knew who the guys were on the field out there. It got so bad. And she was like, do we really have to watch this? And I was like, well, yeah, there's only so many games left. You gotta cherish every snap, every moment. And by halftime, that game was on the small TV in the living room, and we were watching Lioness, which is a great new series. I just learned about it. It's a great series. I'm into it. although it's in its second season. So the idea that it's new to me, although it's been out for a while, but it's also that time of year where you got to start finding new shows that you want to watch because, football season is almost over for the last, I don't know how many months, the way it always is. Honey, I got to work. It's my job, right? So we get football on Thursday night, Friday, high school, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and she gets the TV Tuesday and Wednesday until we get to this time of year. And I don't know how it is at your house, but if I don't suggest shows that I want to watch, then she's going to suggest shows that I probably don't want to watch. So it is up to me to do some research to find some shows that I think we can watch together, because she'll watch some of the stuff I like, but some of the stuff she likes. And I know, guys, that I'm not alone in that, right? Your wife is picking shows. You're screwed. If you're picking shows, she's going to go along for the ride, as long as they're good and we both can watch them. So it's that time of year. So if you've got some show suggestions, let me know on Twitter at Jason Minix, Pigeon Carrier, Instagram. I'm at Jason Minix on everything. The station is at SA Sports Star. Whoever told me about Lioness, I believe his name was Ray. That's fantastic. That's actually a good show. I'm enjoying that. Landman, I got into too early, so I'm not built up there. I've got to wait a week. Landman 2 is fantastic if you haven't been watching Landman. Good stuff there. Got some football on this afternoon. Texas State and North Texas playing the UIW Bowl, since both head coaches are the last two previous head coaches of the UIW Cardinals. That game at the First Responder Bowl getting underway. We'll keep you updated throughout. See, Gilbert saying Lioness is a great show. Not seeing Landman yet. You definitely want to watch Landman. Want to definitely do that. But yeah, Texas State, North Texas about to get underway. We'll keep you posted throughout. Right now, though, let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
As the Texas Longhorns will be the lone SEC representative in the Final Four of the college football playoff. I know a lot of SEC types having trouble with the former Big 12 team 1 year removed being the lone SEC rep. You got two from the Big 10, and then you've got Notre Dame. And I don't necessarily know that means there was a drop-off in SEC play. Depending on how you want to argue it, you can argue it how you want. But that's where we are right now when it comes to the Final Four. All four, you could make a case for, I don't know, hated fan bases. If you're not a fan, you hate those guys. Notre Dame, hate those guys. Ohio State, good Lord. I mean, even their fans seem to hate their coach and their, everything about it. Penn State's, Penn State and, Texas. There's a lot of people out there that don't like the Longhorns. I don't understand, but it's there. But one of the things that I find interesting is in Atlanta, Bevo hasn't been able to travel. In that big-ass NFL stadium, and I've been in that stadium, Super Bowl there a couple of years ago, seemed to be a lot of room on that field. But they say there's not enough room for Bevo. So he wasn't at the SEC championship game, and they didn't let him go last week to the Peach Bowl. Now, I was at the Valero Alamo Bowl last Saturday, and I saw Ralphie, a very seemingly drugged up Ralphie, trot across the field. He seemed a little lethargic in his efforts there. That was interesting, but they even had Ralphie run on the field at the Alamo Dome. So we in San Antonio allowed a buffalo to roam, but in Atlanta they won't let Bevo. But you know what they're going to do in Arlington? Yeah, Bevo is welcome in Arlington. Although Jerry Jones this morning on 105.3 The Fan wasn't really sure if Bevo would be allowed in.
I can't answer that. And, I really don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep everybody in suspense there.
I really don't. I'm not for sure if there's restrictions on that one at all. But, boy, I've seen that Bevo so many times in my life. And, of course, I say this with all the affinity in the world, but the three times that I got a chance to be on the field playing the University of Texas. They were number one in the nation 2 of those 3 times when we went up against them. And so, boy, that respect goes a long way back. And I've had a grandson that just left down there as a player and had a great experience while he was at Texas. So bottom line is this, we're glad to have those Texas Longhorns in that stadium.
Yeah, they are. Now, I will say shortly after those comments from Jerry Jones, at Texas football tweets out breaking, the big guy is headed to Arlington, and a picture of Bevo, and it just says free at the Cotton Bowl. So Bevo will be at AT&T Stadium for the Cotton Bowl this Friday night when the Longhorns take on Ohio State. Bevo will be there, but the way it's been in Atlanta after they beat Ohio State, are they going to be allowed to take Bevo to Atlanta for the national championship game? And to this point, it doesn't look like Bevo would be able to make that trip. Maybe they'll get some sort of, waiver, and they'll be able to have Bevo there. But he will be in Arlington on Friday for the national championship, or for the Cotton Bowl, 1 game away from the national championship game. Speaking of the Longhorns, it's a good thing these kids get paid in college now, because, that NFL money for some might not be as much. Now, if you're a first-round pick, you're getting paid. Former Longhorn defensive lineman Byron Murphy is with the Seattle Seahawks, and they had their rookie dinner this past week. And that dude got stuck with a dinner bill of $155,000. Think about that. Now, when you're a first-round pick and you get that money, it's coming. And I think a lot of guys certainly take advantage of the fact that, that rookie is paying you. You've got paid. You've got some money. But it's still insane when you see a dinner bill for $155,000. But he could afford it. He could afford that with his NIL money from a year ago. Let's talk a little NBA. J.J. Redick has picked a fight with Charles Barkley. And J.J. Redick is going to lose this fight. Now, we all can say what we want about how he goes from ESPN to coach of the Lakers because LeBron handpicked him. Whether he earned the job, deserved the job, whatever the case is, dude has the job. But he also is a pretty media-savvy guy. I like J.J. Redick as the broadcaster. I like J.J. Redick as a person. As a basketball coach, he is struggling right now, but he's coaching the Lakers, and I don't know who they were going to get that was going to do better. But Charles Barkley, and that group, that's the best basketball show, the best sports show on television when it comes to post-game type of things. But J.J. Redick said that one of the reasons the NBA ratings are low is because of that show. Charles Barkley's not having that.
Was he just talking about folks on TV?
He said something about we're the reason people ain't watching this crappy product we got. I said, JJ, us, like we out there jacking up 100 threes a night. JJ, I don't know Jason Monroe. I don't know who that is, but JJ, you come for the king. You better not miss. Because I can get you, brother, because I got your Lakers games. You can't hide them flaws they got. You just a dead man walking. They got rid of Frank Vogel, who did a good job. They got rid of Darvingham, who did a good job. But you came out there thinking you were going to change things with that same ugly girl you went on the date with.
64-51 was your halftime score. As we get back to the highlights, and Rudy Gobert.
He came in there thinking, I can make this thing work. Hell, you can.
77-71.
Put the makeup on that pig.
The Lakers are pig.
The Lakers stink, man.
Oh, man. Okay.
Come on, man.
Tatum, by the way, has 33 with some makeup.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, J.J. Redick picking a fight with Charles Barkley. He is going to lose that every time. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, live out at the South Texas RV Super Sale. More coming up here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. The best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747. You can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Manny Jr. from Rock's Discount Vitamins. If you're looking to build muscle, strength, and boost athletic performance, check out our huge selection of anabolic pro-hormones. These powerful supplements provide your body with essential nutrients for muscle growth, faster recovery, fat loss, and even improved bone health and libido. Visit one of our 12 San Antonio locations or go online at rocksdiscountvitamins.com to learn more. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support. rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota.
Come into one of our locations and check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal, including a four-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Smoky Mo's is the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio. Tailgating or game watching? Create your own party pack with your choice of meats, including brisket, turkey, sausage, and home-style sides, including our new bacon cheddar potatoes. Smoky Mo's barbecue gets its delicious flavor and aroma from quality meats prepped with our unique spice blend. Smoked low and slow over post oak, in-house, every day. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue, served fast and friendly, with 8 locations. Find the one near you at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Are you facing divorce, a child custody battle, or a complex family dispute? AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks brings unique experience to the table. As a veteran and first responder, he knows the challenges, he knows the pressure, and he knows how to fight for what's yours. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat-free representation from beginning to end and payment plans so you can get representation now. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered at Round Table Pizza. We've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
My name is Luke Bryan. Country music is my life, and I want to share it with y'all.
It's All Country is now streaming on Hulu.
And with the help of Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Lady A, Winona Judd, Sheryl Crow, and Mickey Guyton, we're going to explore everything country.
Couldn't ask for anything more than that.
When everybody brings their story, it really becomes something special.
That is the beautiful side of country music.
In the end, it's all country. It's all country. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinigle still on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. We're live on this Friday out at the South Texas RV Super Sale at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Going all weekend tonight until 8 o'clock. Tomorrow 10 to 8. Sunday 10 to 6. Let's talk about it with Phil Elam. He is the executive director of the Texas Recreational Dealers Association, and he's also the show manager here, and he's got the largest business cards that you've ever seen with that big old title on there. But Phil, for everybody, I'm impressed with the crowd here early, but if people aren't sure what is happening down here, kind of tell us about the super sale that is happening.
We try to bring a marketplace to the Expo Hall. Yeah, both buildings, Expo 1 and Expo 2, plus the parking lot full of RVs this year. Between 250 and 300 RVs, motorhomes, travel trailers, you kind of name it. We have dealers here who are trying to bring the latest products, goods and services to the consuming public, because RVing is we're the biggest state in the United States for RVing. And let's face it, we have a lot of parks in our state. People love to go RVing. They go to private parks, public parks that are owned by counties and cities in the state of Texas, of course. We also have national park grounds that people can go to. So there's a lot of things to do in the state of Texas. It makes RVing very popular.
In every year that we come and do this, and you walk in, and I wonder what is left on the lots at, say, Crestview or Ancira RV, because the number of RVs that are here that are from, say, $15,000 to, I'm afraid to look at the price of some of those that Ancira brought out here, because they look, I don't know, nicer than a lot of people's homes.
Well, the thing is, there's a market here for a little bit of everyone who's interested in RVing. So it's for the beginner all the way up to the more experienced person. Statistics will tell you that a person who starts RVing, if they really enjoy the concept, then they'll start with one and they'll own 6 in their lifespan.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So, and each one, you can bet, is going to start it's going to get better and better and better each time they go through that tree. So, yes, there are motorhomes here that you can buy $400,000, $500,000. Okay, but then there's also a motorhome here. I haven't looked around the lot, but my assumption is somewhere around just under 6 figures. And you can get a motor coach that'll get you around this country and see a lot of territory.
Well, it is amazing that the differences in them, and until you walk into a place like this, you don't realize the market that is there, and like you said, kind of fits every budget.
Well, yes, and of course, remember, these are homes on wheels, okay? So either you're going to drive it, if it's a motorhome, or you're going to tow it if it's a travel trailer. But then the travel trailers come in all sizes and varieties. I mean, you've got something that'll start in, say, around $20,000 and go, or under, and go all the way up to $100,000 to $150,000. So, I mean, there's a wide variety in there. And of course, they're made for almost every concept that you can think of. If your deal is tailgating, or it's camping, or it's going to a deer lease, or it's going to the the coast to fish, you name it. The main thing is go to a dealer, one of our 4 dealers that are present in this show, sit down with that dealer and say, this is what I want to do. Let's talk to me about it. Let their experienced staff walk you through how an RV can suit your needs. That's the good deal, though.
Phil Elam joining us here. He's the show manager here for the South Texas RV Super Sale happening this weekend here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Now, while you do have all the RVs and trailers that are on display, people can walk through them and see them all, talk to different people. You also have a lot of different seminars that are lined up through the weekend. And I'm looking at a lot of these seminars and what's going on, and it just interesting stuff that kind of, whether you're in the market for a brand new RV, or you're just trying to figure out ways to use the recreational sites in our great state.
Well, I'm a trade association guy by profession. Okay, so I represent the trade association that represents dealers. So my dealers are very interested in the education of consumers. And if we can't tell consumers why this product is important to us to be selling it and why they should own it, then we're not really doing our job. So we try to give them some exposure, if you can, to what it's like to be an owner, because many of the folks are coming here today and over the weekend, they're inexperienced. Some are extremely experienced, and they go to the information desk and they tell me things. But then there are others who come to our information desk and they'll make an inquiry. Where should I start looking? How should I start looking? I think I want to do this, but I don't want to go spend $50,000 and then feel like I've made a mistake. So there's a lot of entry points here, and we try to put our educational content to address some of those things.
And again, one other thing I didn't realize, everything here is brand new.
In the state of Texas, you cannot have a motor vehicle show. These are motor vehicles in the state of Texas. That's why they are licensed. They'll have a license plate on the back of them. All right, so in the state of Texas, you cannot have an RV show like this unless it's all new product.
And everything's I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's left on the lot?
Oh, well, you ask about Crestview. If you call Steve Spearing back at the Crestview lot, I'll promise you, and said, hey, I'm looking for a so-and-so, he's going to say, I've got it. Oh, it might not be here. It might be down at the show, but we've got it. And they probably have, I'm just going to say conservatively, he still has another 150 to 200 units on his lot.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So for people that are driving around right now listening and they're thinking, all right, this is something I want to get into, whether it's now, 3 years, 5 years, close to retirement, whatever the case is. How big of an industry? This is a bigger industry than I think most people realize, right?
Well, we're very small as compared, since we're in the motor vehicle market. Okay, so we're very small compared to cars and light trucks. In the state of Texas, there's 1.2 million light trucks and automobiles sold each year on average. On a year, we'll sell for 60,000 travel trailers and motorhomes combined. Now, just think about it. That's a very small percentage. But again, we sell more in Texas than we do in any other state. So it just shows you the importance that state is. This is a $6 billion a year industry in the state of Texas, is what RVing is. Now, that includes sales of the units, parts, and service and things like that. But yes, it's a very large part of our economy.
Well, really I tell you, you come down here and you start thinking. I mean, even our engineer, Grumpy Greg Shelton, is like, man, I could. Yeah, but he would get one and just get off the radar and be gone forever.
I would really like to do a class sometime, and because I have a 7-year-old grandson, okay, and I'd like to do a class sometime for just some of the folks in the neighborhood, and let them come down and watch these RVs be brought into the building, because it's really an art form, because the drivers get on forklifts and they drive backwards to pull these units in here. Yeah, you just can't believe that they put every one of these things in here with the precision that they do. And they all have to be a certain length apart, things of this nature, because the fire marshal requires that. And I mean, there's so many ingredients that go into this soup that creates these events. There's a lot of moving parts.
So how many days was load-in for this?
We actually, Sunday the 29th, we placed, I'm going to say, 200 units in the parking lot. And then on Monday at 8 a.m., they started moving in. And so we finished at about 4 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon. And then we opened the show on Thursday, the 2nd at, 10 o'clock.
And then next week, by what, Monday afternoon, this place will be empty?
No, it'll be empty. And it'll be empty midnight Sunday.
Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. It goes in slowly, but it goes out of here very quickly. And there will not be a unit in this entire parking lot on these premises after 11 a.m. on Monday.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's like if you ever thought about Tinker Toys or any Legos or anything like that. Think of that kind of concept only with 45-foot travel trailers or motorhomes.
It is the South Texas RV Super Sale happening all weekend here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall till 8 o'clock tonight, 10 to 8 on Saturday, 10 to 6 on Sunday. When you get down here, I'm guessing Phil doesn't get to leave for lunch, so he'll be here. He'll answer all your questions.
Every day.
They got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the snack bar. Have you tried one yet?
We're aware of it.
Have you tried one yet?
We're aware of it.
I haven't gotten one yet.
They have a brand new catering company here in the Expo Hall. So they've got some new product out there, so people will find some new things to eat and treats for the kids.
Absolutely. Phil, thank you for having us out here.
Pleasure's mine.
Phil Elam with the South Texas RV Super Sale again happening all weekend. And of course, Sunday, all these RVs, or a lot of them, have TVs in them. So I hope that they'll have some football games on, because Sunday is the final week of the NFL regular season. Although for the most part, games that matter, the big one is coming up on Sunday night. For the Cowboys, you look at, they've got a game against Washington. For the Cowboys, it's Washington. You always want to beat Washington. But will it be Mike McCarthy's final game as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? It was interesting that yesterday I asked Stephen Jones, when do they actually start looking at a timetable for Mike McCarthy, and when, as the public, we're going to find out what the Cowboys are going to do? To be cut to, Pledge.
Well, we just, like I said, we've been so focused on this season. We hadn't really even thought about it in terms of timing. Obviously, Mike and McCarthy and his staff, between Zimmer and Bones and that whole crew, have done a hell of a job for us. And, obviously we'll really sit down and go over that. But, in terms of, starting to set up time schedules and those type of things in terms of when we'll make decisions, we haven't gotten to that point.
He says that, and you got to call BS on that, right? I mean, you mean to tell me you and Jerry haven't had some discussions leading up to this, that you haven't gotten with everybody's calendars next week, Monday at 8, Monday at 9:30 at some point? All right. Although Mike McCarthy, he said this morning on the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson, as he's on every Friday, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, that, they do have a plan, but it's kind of fluid because of everybody's contract situation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're always setting schedule. I mean, we'll step in here Monday. We'll start the evaluation process, and and that's, it's obviously it's different this year because of the contract situations, but you just prioritize things and keep working. That's all you can do.
You imagine you start, I don't know how they do that, but let's say, special teams is first. So you got Bones in and you're going through evaluating everybody. Okay, Aubrey, he's fine. Turpin, he's fine. Long snapper, let's talk about him. And Jerry calls and says, come and see me. I mean, do you stop the evaluation? I guess you do stop the evaluation process until you find out what Jerry wants to do. Although Mike McCarthy's contract does not end until January 14th. So the Cowboys could string this out for a couple of weeks if they wanted to. 10, 11 days. It's the third now. It felt like they did that with Jason Garrett, although looking back on it, The Athletic said that it was January 5th when Jason Garrett's contract expired. For Mike McCarthy, it's January 14th, which is the 1-year anniversary date of that embarrassing loss to the Green Bay Packers a year ago in the postseason. Insane. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The Texans, they have a game that means something because, man, they need to get something right before the playoffs start. Let's talk about it with our good friend, Indy Kalu. He joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, A.J. Hoffman returns. We'll debrief the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL season and look forward to the playoffs, both college and pro. You got to get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility. Huddle up, the food's done. Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It's a new year, and you have the chance to focus on you. Take the opportunity to treat yourself to something amazing and come into Macy's this weekend for great deals on wardrobe superstars like 20 to 30% off Karl Lagerfeld, Levi's, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. While you're at it, get back into a healthy routine with new gear from Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. And your New Year's resolutions? Oh, you have plenty of time to figure them out. But these deals are going on now at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Come to the South Texas RV Super Sale today through Sunday. Expo Hall at the Freeman. Doors open at 10 a.m. daily. Get tickets online at SouthTexasRVSupersale.com. Every kind of RV and dealers are making deals. SouthTexasRVSupersale.com.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting this Monday, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Eagles on vacation. I'm Jason Minix, live at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall for the South Texas RV Super Sale that's happening all weekend long. Bowl game going on right now. The First Responder Bowl up in North Texas, where North Texas is leading Texas State 7-3, 6.5 to play in the first quarter of that one. So there's still some college bowl games to go through. Then, of course, you got the playoffs in both college football and the NFL. The NFL playoffs will start a week from this weekend because we got the regular season wrapping up. For a lot of teams, it's meaningless. For the Houston Texans, not so much. Let's talk about it with our good friend, Indy Kalu, joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Indy, how's your Friday? How's your New Year?
Freeman Coliseum. I hope you got your GATs and your bulletproof vest. Are you okay over there? Do I need to come help you out?
It's been a while since you've been over here, man. I mean, dude, they've even upgraded the concession stand here. It's got peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and brisket sandwiches.
Look, they used to sell straight crack out of the concession stands out of there. But no, all jokes aside, I love RVs, so that's a pretty cool event. That's pretty cool that you get to check that out.
Are you an RV guy?
You know what? I want one. Like, to tell you the truth, I do want one, but as I'm in my late 40s, I feel a little kind of way like I'm accepting my old age if I get an RV. So I'm going to wait a couple more years.
Well, look, I mean, see, I know you well enough. As I'm looking at one right now, it's nice, $24,995. I saw one in the back that's about $400,000.
Oh, no. I'm looking for the used one that looks like, what was that show? Napoleon Dynamite, the one his uncle used to drive around when he was practicing football. That's the type of RV that I'm looking for.
No, man, I think you go back there, that $400,000 one, the way the TV is, the bedroom, you can pull into those Baylor tailgates and really have a good time.
I'll tell you what, the way LSU put it on us, I want to be in a sports car because I want to get out of there as fast as possible. But you know what? The experience was fun. You mentioned North Texas playing in the First Responders Bowl. That's going to be a great experience for them. But I hate that North Texas, they didn't get a chance to travel because that's what makes the bowl games that aren't the playoff games, just the experience of going somewhere else.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that. And again, a Friday afternoon game. But they're bowling. They're playing another game, and to a degree, it looks like they're playing well. Texas State's driving down on the 1 yard line, trying to take the lead here in the first quarter. Both head coaches, the previous two head coaches at Incarnate Word. So we're calling it the Bird Bowl here in San Antonio because it's got a lot of San Antonio flavor to it.
I love it. It just goes to show how much talent, whether it's coaching, players, comes out of the San Antonio area because whether you want to admit it or not, Incarnate Word, there's some local talent on that team. And because of the success they've had, and Cam Ward to the coaching staff, they've been able to go to bigger and better opportunities.
Absolutely. Indy Kalu joining us here on the Blitz. You look at the final week of the regular season. Go back to when you were a player. There were times when you knew you were in the playoffs, times where you knew you weren't in the playoffs. What's the mentality like for most of the guys that are going to suit up this weekend?
Well, it's just what you said. I mean, if you know you're in the playoffs and your team chooses to rest a lot of the starters, you'll be surprised. It's still intense because, like a preseason game, those guys are trying to prove that they belong on the roster. They're trying to prove that they belong on the field and get more playing time. So it means something to them. And on the flip side, when you're one of those star players, you're literally getting ready for the first playoff game. I remember when I was in Philadelphia, the couple of years I started and we rested the starters. Going into that last game, the starters were in a whole different meeting room watching film, getting ready for one of the two playoff teams that we may see while the other guys were getting ready for the upcoming game. That was some kind of a divide there where you have half the team like grinding at practice, trying to win the last game, and the other half out there with bubble gum and chew in their mouth, getting ready for games 2 weeks ahead of time. But it's an interesting dynamic.
Well, and you look at a team like the Texans, this could be a meaningless game. I know they're closing out against the Titans, but they got destroyed on Christmas by Baltimore 31-2. Then they lost before that to Kansas City 27-19. They beat Miami 20-12, didn't play well. But if you're D'Amico Ryans, if you're in that locker room, just to get a win so you feel like you've got a little momentum going into the playoffs. I mean, you can't go into the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak.
I go back and forth. If you would have asked me this question, Jason, 3 years ago, I would have said without a doubt, you play every single starter. You need the momentum. You need to get that bad taste out of losing out of your mouth before you go into your first playoff game. But now, part of me is like, just rest everybody. Rest everybody that you can rest. Because, and this could call it a loser mentality, but one thing I do when I come on with you, I'm as transparent as I can be. Could you imagine going into the Tennessee Titans game, playing 3-13 Tennessee with C.J. Stroud and all your starters, and you lose that game going into your first playoff game? At least with the backups, you can say, we weren't trying this game. We were resting everybody. And now that the playoff starts, the record's 0-0. I don't ever want to let fear rule my decision, but I don't know if I want to go into that game with the way they've been playing with my starters.
What an interesting theory as we talk with Texans legend Indy Kalu. Bench everybody so you don't get embarrassed by Tennessee, because this team is bad enough to actually get embarrassed by Tennessee, and that would actually be worse to play your starters and lose.
That's it. I mean, I hate to say it, and again, I'd say part of it in jest, but I just feel like with how bad they've played, I'm leaning towards, man, just, let's rest, let's reset, and let's go into this first playoff game with just a whole different mentality than going into this game trying to beat a horrible team that's just looking and you talked about like the mindset of playing in this last week. I've also been a part of some horrible teams, but for whatever reason, in that last game when we knew we could spoil the season for a team that was having a better year than us, we took on that playoff approach. Like, there were a couple of games when I was in Washington where we beat a team that was playing to get into the playoffs, or they were playing for home field advantage, and we weren't playing for anything except the spoiler aspect.
Well, and I think the only thing that the Texans can do in a spoiler role is lose the game and watch the Titans draft pick drop, right? And from that standpoint, the old saying, organizations tank, players don't, and Houston certainly knows that. That's how you ended up with C.J. Stroud and not Bryce Young. That said, I would imagine the ownership and front office types in Tennessee don't want to win this game, but you can't tell that to the players, can you?
100%, absolutely not. There's no way you can tell the team or tell any player, hey, we want to get a higher draft pick. We want to have a better chance of drafting somebody who may be replacing you, so don't go out there and play as hard. But what you do what the Cowboys are doing, and I don't know if they're doing this to lose as more so to protect CeeDee Lamb, but you basically say the season's over, we're not going to win, so we're going to rehab, and I'm throwing up the air quotes, CeeDee Lamb's going to rehab his shoulder or elbow, I can't remember, but they're doing that because shoulder, because the season's over.
It's an interesting concept. So when you look at the Texans and playoff start 0-0, is there anything that gives you confidence that once that new season starts, they're going to remember how to play football again?
Yes, and it's the short emphasis on short history of what we've seen with C.J. Stroud, with Joe Mixon. And I can tell where you're leaning, like your expectations aren't too high, but would you be overly surprised, regardless of who they play, if C.J. Stroud has a clean game? I'm not even going to exaggerate. If Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter have 2 sacks apiece, and Joe Mixon runs for over 100 yards, and Nico Collins looks like the Pro Bowl wide receiver that he is, like, I don't think we would be overly surprised if that happens and they get a victory. So, yes, I absolutely see a scenario where the Texans can get back on track.
Has there been I'm trying to think, a stretch of games this year where you felt like the Texans looked like they did last year? When you think about all the accolades and C.J. Stroud seemed to play with so much more confidence, the defense was playing better, and we just haven't seen that same team yet this year. Could they? Would I be surprised if CJ went out and did CJ things? No. But we haven't really seen that this year. And so their problems this year, all of it. I mean, last year, Bobby Slowick, oh man, I hope he doesn't get a head coaching job this year. Every fan I know wants to see that guy fired because you got to blame somebody. So let's blame Bobby, right? One of our regular listeners is always on our YouTube saying blame Bobby. So do I think they could put it together for a short stretch? Maybe, but we haven't seen any evidence this season that they can.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you. We haven't seen stretches, in my opinion. We've seen the one-off games, like when they beat the Buffalo Bills. Obviously Buffalo Bills, one of the better teams in the league. And, you could throw in some good games and some good wins, not great. Anytime you beat, in my opinion, the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm sorry, any rival games, Indianapolis Colts. I'm thinking about the Steelers because that might be their first playoff game. But anytime you beat the Colts, that's a good win for the Texans. So I'm with you. We have not seen that stretch. Like, hey, you remember in the month of October when they won 3 out of 4 games and they looked strong? You literally had to hand pick. And all I can think of right now is the Buffalo Bills win, where you point to. I'm sure there's another one where you point to that and that was a good solid win.
Well, Buffalo, I think they kind of screwed that up, and Houston was lucky. I think the 2 impressive games I remember, the way they beat the Cowboys, which isn't necessarily saying a whole lot, and probably the Colts win. The way they just beat down New England, better team, go in and show them you're the better team, and they were able to do that. I just look at this team and think, man, it's a good thing they clinched early because the way they're playing right now, like if they had to play Tennessee for a chance to get into the postseason, I don't know if they'd get it done.
No, I mean, they've already lost to Tennessee, and it wasn't that long ago when they lost to the Tennessee Titans. So look, as much as I want to sit up here and sing from the rooftop that they're going to win the first game and there's nothing to see here, no, you don't have that same feeling going into the playoffs that you had last year. And a big part of it is what you said, because you can't point to a streak. You can't point to more than 2 games in a row where they look like a Detroit Lions, where they look like a Kansas City Chiefs, or one of these top tier teams.
Texans legend, San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer Indy Kalu joining us here on the Blitz. You spent a lot of time with the Philadelphia Eagles. You certainly know that city and that fan base, even though they're not sure about your actual name. Gotta ask you, Indy, or as he's known in Philly, Andy Kalu, when he gets official mail from the Eagles. Indy, if you're in that locker room, do you campaign for Saquon to be able to play this week against his former team to try to break a record that has stood for 40 years?
100%, absolutely, yes. And I understand this is a team sport. I understand there are bigger goals, team goals to accomplish. But let's be real. Only one team's going to win the Super Bowl. If, God forbid, something happens and he gets hurt, which he has not been over the last 17 weeks, then it just wasn't meant to be. But a record like that is not just for Saquon. That's the entire offensive line, the most underappreciated group on a football team. If I'm one of the senior offensive linemen, I get the rest of the guys, I go knock on the door of the head coach, and I say, we're going to practice all week and we're going to play, and we want this for Saquon/us. I just think that's one of those records. It's not like consecutive starts or whatever. Like, that's not a meaningless record. That's huge, and it's not just for the running back. It's also the offensive line. So I 100% push for it. If I'm a defensive player in that locker room, Jason, I say, hey, what can we do? Like, I'll suit up and play if I'm a starter to make sure you get the ball back and you get as many chances at that record as possible.
When you look, I mean, I get where Nick Sirianni's going, and there's always that debate. Do you rest players? Do you risk them in a quote unquote meaningless game? If he gets hurt, everybody's going to, want him fired on the spot. I get all of that. And most of the time I'm not go get that record. But this record is different and it's special. And, Saquon is saying all the right things, but even listening to him say the right things, you kind of feel like he wants to say, dude, I want to play. And that's his former team. I mean, you talk about two birds up to the New York Giants. You guys chose Daniel Jones over me. I'm getting this record against you guys. 101 yards. He might get that in the first half. But if they don't win the Super Bowl, what does that mean for, like, Saquon's feelings towards the coach? Or, is this the kind of thing, I hear what you just said, could it cause some issue in the locker room? Because I imagine a lot of players want to see him go get the record, and the coach is saying, no, man, you can't get that.
And well said, by the way, I don't think it causes a rift in the locker room, because even if you disagree with the head coach's decision, if he sits Saquon, you understand why that's his decision. But with everything that you said, I mean, you're playing against a division rival, your former team. You need only 101 yards to get a record that stood for however long it's been up there. To me, you have to factor all that in. Yes, the number one goal is the Super Bowl, but what is the NFL? It's sports entertainment, and that's going to be entertaining for the fan base. And I have to believe that, again, God forbid if something happened to Saquon and he got hurt, if I'm the owner of the team, and it might be easy for me to say because I'm not looking sideways at the head coach. I'm not faulting the head coach for trying to get him the record, because if they don't win the Super Bowl, then it was like, oh man, that was a great year for Saquon. If they don't win and he gets the record, that's still going to be a historic year that everyone's talking about. So, no, look, screw the offensive line, screw Saquon and the coach. This is where Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the team, says, no, play him and play all the starters. Let's go get this record.
And again, this record different than others. It's not like it's the franchise's record. All right, I might have a chance at that some other time. This record's been around for 40 years. And also, from the business side of things, how much money has Saquon technically or could possibly lose by, the autograph circuit, 15 years from now, where he could write single season rushing leader. And, I just think from a financial standpoint, he's saying all the right things, but I don't know if he's even thinking about, down the road, how much money this could actually cost him.
No, and let me add to it. This will be a feather. What's the phrase? A feather in the cap, or when you make the argument for someone to be get into the Hall of Fame. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, and at the end of his career, you're saying, okay, why should this guy be in the Hall of Fame? If you can say he holds the single season rushing record, that's a huge check mark. So, to me, there are more reasons to play him and play the entire starting offense to help him get it than there are not to play. Because literally the only reason you don't play him is because you're afraid of injury. But you can rip off 10 reasons to play him, in my opinion.
Well, and again, you get hurt in practice. He can get hurt getting out of bed. You play football. One other knucklehead question towards the end of this, do you play, do you not play? So many guys have bonuses on the line this weekend, incentives that are attainable for either catches, yards, a touchdown, number of snaps, all those guys. How much going into a final week, whether it's a meaningless game or not, are players saying, Coach, don't sit me, man. I'm 18 plays away from getting $300,000 or whatever the number is. How much business is being talked about this week amongst the players?
It depends. And what I mean by that, you have a league where a wide receiver who makes $20 million a year doesn't mind paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines because he's wearing shoes he's not supposed to wear. So if it's a guy that's making $4 or $5 million and he has a bonus that may pay him an extra $400,000 or $500,000, he absolutely wants to get out there and try to achieve that bonus. But if it's a huge money guy and he's already making $20 million, and if he gets another sack, he gets another $200,000. Now, I'll be out there jumping off sides trying to get the sack. But in that scenario, a lot of these guys are like, whatever. I've seen, or I've heard a scenario when I played. I can't remember exactly who it was. A player was like half a sack away from getting his bonus, but they didn't want to play him because of, they were already in the playoffs and they had a legit chance of winning the Super Bowl. So the owner of that team just paid him out. So just depending on the owner, the player, I think it's different across the board.
So an owner can do that. Like, for example, Cooper Rush has a $500,000 bonus if he plays 55% of the snaps, and he's at like 52.8 right now. So we'd have to play most of the games Sunday to get that $500,000. Unless Jerry says, hey, we're going to give that to you because we want to play Trey Lance. Otherwise, Cooper Rush is that close to getting $500,000, and Jerry could sit him, right, and not pay him.
Yeah, but a guy like Cooper, you take your ass out there. Like, you're not sitting because the game doesn't matter. You're Cooper Rush. Like, go out there and earn that $500,000. And I think he would appreciate it. But no, Trey Lance, we've seen enough in the preseason. Like, just sit down and let Cooper go earn this meal ticket. So in that scenario.
But what if the Cowboys said, hey, we want to say Trey Lance, and they sit Cooper to avoid paying the $500,000?
Then that's trash.
Yeah. See, that's where I think Jerry could just pay it out because every player would know that. So you want to know that your owner has your back when it comes to things like that, right?
Absolutely. Like, that's not – and I think Jerry Jones is the greatest business mind in the NFL by far. Like, that would, in my opinion, that would not even be a savvy business move because of your brand. It's just going to make you look bad. Now, if he truly wants to see Trey Lance to the tune of $500,000, then you publicly put it out there that you've not honored because he didn't earn it. That you publicly put it out there that you're going to take care of Cooper Rush, and then you play Trey Lance. But if you're literally doing that because I'm this great businessman, I'm going to save 500 G's. I think that hurts you more so than what you saved.
100% agree. The great Indy Kalu joining us here on the Blitz. Always appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk to you next week. Get ready for the postseason.
Quick question for you. Do you put an asterisk by Saquon's record if he gets it because he has more games?
No, because if he breaks the record on Sunday in less than 34 carries, he will have broken the record in fewer carries than what Eric Dickerson had.
Well said. Nice. I did hear that stat too. All right. Appreciate you as always. Keep up the good work. Talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. The great Indy Kalu on the Buyers Barricades at Guest Line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. More from the South Texas RV Super Sale coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
What's on?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling. The next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I don't feel so good. You do feel hot. DayQuil Kids will take care of that fever. What about my cough? DayQuil Kids has that covered. Will it make my throat feel better? Yes, that too. But will it taste good? Yep. DayQuil Kids comes in your favorite flavor. Purple? Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new DayQuil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Hey, Manny Jr. here with Rock's Discount Vitamins. This holiday season, don't let those extra pounds sneak up on you. We have the largest selection of weight control products to help you stay on track. Boost your metabolism with our non-stimulant fat burners, or try Cuts, which helps your carbs work for you, not against you. With 12 locations across San Antonio, Rock's Discount Vitamins has everything you need to keep your diet in check this holiday season. Find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green?
Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our locations and check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal, including a four-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Being arrested is embarrassing, humiliating, and potentially life-changing. If you want to rewrite the script on the worst night of your life, then you're going to need a stable of aggressive and skilled attorneys. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, Attorneys at Law. We are here to get your life and reputation back. Visit TexasArrest.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. As a former major crimes prosecutor, I've seen almost every type of arrest scenario play out, from small degree drug accusations to death penalty capital murders. I've handled almost every type of case the state of Texas can charge you with. At Barton & Associates, we know how to flip the script and get your life back on track. Call us at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit us at TexasArrest.com. That's TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates, we are here to get your life and reputation back.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones said today on 105.3 The Fan about the future of the coaching staff. The hay is in the barn as far as our staff is concerned. McCarthy's contract ends on January the 14th. Former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel interviewed with the Jets today concerning their head coaching vacancy. He could be a potential Cowboys candidate if they were to move on from McCarthy. And San Antonio takes on Denver tonight at 8.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can always comment there. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagle is off today. You can always be a part of the show. Dial up 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on Twitter, at Jason Minix, at SA Sports Star, at Joe Reinagle 210. Same on Instagram. When you look at where we are in the NFL regular season as we're broadcasting live here at the South Texas RV Super Show happening all weekend here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall, so many games that are meaningless, but they could have some meaning for you. Quick reminder to get your picks in for the Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. It's the final regular season weekend, so next week somebody's going to get $1,000 worth of tickets from Awesome Tickets. That will go to the local grand prize winner. And this weekend, with so many games up in the air with who's playing, who isn't, there's two dudes that are within a game of each other, and then there's two other guys that are within 3 games of that leader. So it's still, I mean, depending on how this weekend goes with the who knows what which is why fantasy football never goes to this weekend. Could you imagine playing a fantasy championship this weekend and trying to figure out who's playing and who isn't? Mahomes isn't going to play, and they say Josh Allen might have a cameo. What the hell? I mean, but this week on our Pro Football Pick'em Challenge, a winner will be decided. Now, there's also the weekly winners, so whoever has the best week gets that gift card over to the Mellow Mushroom. So you might be out of the running for the 1,000, like most of us are, but you could still end up with that gift card to a Mellow Mushroom. So get your picks in at sasportstar.com for the Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. And again, next week, somebody's going to get $1,000 worth of tickets from Awesome Tickets, and could end up getting some Cotton Bowl tickets, although the price of the Cotton Bowl is the get-in price, from what I've seen, very high. And I was curious how this was ultimately going to work out when you think about the expanded college playoffs and how it would affect the cost of tickets, because when you look at it and you think about, kind of like with college basketball, you get into March Madness, you get a weekend here, a weekend there, where you're going, how are you going to make it work financially, where it's going to be. Well, the home stadium games, those obviously were solid, but this past weekend, tickets were fairly inexpensive with your get-in price. Obviously, better the seats, the more money it was going to cost, but the get-in price seemed pretty reasonable. This weekend, though, man, they're more than double, triple what they were for last weekend. And again, if you're looking at, Texas, easy to get up to the Cotton Bowl, as to say, going all the way to Atlanta. You get Ohio State. You get a game on a Friday. Same thing for going down to Miami for the Orange Bowl. And you think about the amount of tickets that have been sold already and what that secondary ticket market has been like. And you could understand why the College Football Playoff Committee told Greg Sankey no today on what I thought was an interesting request, although he says he made the request to benefit everybody involved, because it certainly wouldn't benefit Texas, the lone SEC representative left in the Final Four of the College Football Playoff. Apparently, Greg Sankey requested that they flip the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl. Have the Cotton Bowl be played Thursday night and the Orange Bowl on Friday night to give Notre Dame an extra day of rest. Penn State's been waiting, and you knew whoever was going to win the Sugar Bowl, which obviously was Notre Dame over Georgia, they're going to have to, with the delay, a short week. They played Thursday afternoon, and bam, man, they're going to be in Miami pretty quick getting ready for that game. Now, at first I thought, well, did he make that request when they decided to delay the game? And obviously they delayed the game for a variety of reasons that are beyond everybody's control, right? But they did move it. but apparently it was after the game that he made the request of switching those games. So if Georgia had won, was he doing it to try to get his team an extra day? No, apparently it was afterwards. His concern, a potential disadvantage for Notre Dame because they're going to have to play in a shorter turnaround, especially since Penn State played New Year's Eve. They've got much longer rest compared to those that played on New Year's Day, or in the case of Notre Dame, playing the day after because of that 18-hour time difference that they had to delay the Sugar Bowl. Thought that was pretty interesting. Of course, Texas, they needed double overtime to beat Arizona State, and they'll get to go play Ohio State. Ohio State, they could have rested most of their team in the second half with the way they destroyed the Oregon Ducks. Interesting story that's coming out that they looked at or asked about flipping, but one of the reasons they were told no, the logistics in both cities, the timeline set up, and the fans that have already made their travel arrangements, whether it's flights, hotels. If you're in Austin or somewhere in the great state of Texas, because I imagine there's a lot of people from San Antonio, they're going to drive up to Dallas on Friday or fly up to Dallas. If they had moved that to Thursday, now you got to rearrange all kinds of stuff and then try to get hotel rooms. It seemed it was a pain, but those that were there going to check out on of New Orleans on days are getting confused because nobody knows what day it is. On Thursday, when that game was played, they all had to get extra hotel nights and what that cost them and everything that goes with it. So according to Sankey, and he said on the Paul Feinbaum show, he raised that issue on Thursday. So, but they said no. Speaking of next Friday, let me get my day straight. The Blitz is going to be live out at Popstroke over there off I-10 near UTSA, I-10-1604, the brand new Popstroke. We're going to be out there with our friends from Flight by Yingling, a special Flight Friday. You can come out, win some great Yingling prizes, and watch the Cotton Bowl, the Longhorns, and the Buckeyes, and a game you'll be able to listen to here on 94.1. Greg Shelton was telling me he was out there doing the site check for Popstroke, and he talked about just how incredible this place is with the number of bars and everything going on. I haven't been to the one in San Antonio. It just opened. I've been to the one in Phoenix or Glendale out there where the Cardinals play, and it's incredible. So I can't wait to get out there next Friday to do the show. Might have to get out there to do my own little site check ahead of time. Because if Greg Shelton tells me it was a great place and a place that he would go hang out, I know that's a place I need to go hang out. The looks I'm getting from Greg Shelton right now, he doesn't like it when I put his personal business on blast because then somebody might see him out at Popstroke and talk to him. And he doesn't like that. He really doesn't. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs and Nuggets tonight. Let's talk about that coming up. And I don't know, it's trade season, and some of the trade talk I see involving the Spurs is comical. We'll dive into that here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas College Football Headquarters is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And the most wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you buy a new house, you might say,
"Shut the front door."
Winning!
No, seriously, shut the front door. We own this house now.
But you actually need to say,
"Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
That's right. The local State Farm agent is there to help you choose the coverage you need.
Welcome to my crib. No one says that anymore, but I don't care.
So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota.
Come into one of our locations and check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal, including a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Manny Jr. from Rock's Discount Vitamins. If you're looking to build muscle, strength, and boost athletic performance, check out our huge selection of anabolic pro-hormones. These powerful supplements provide your body with essential nutrients for muscle growth, faster recovery, fat loss, and even improved bone health and libido. Visit one of our 12 San Antonio locations or go online at rocksdiscountvitamins.com to learn more. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support. rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe pork rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe pork rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon, the Cowboys take on the Washington Commanders.
I like this kind of party!
Pregame starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it! How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Engel on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing as always. North Texas, Texas State in the first responder bowl. 8 minutes, 6 seconds to play in the first half. North Texas up 14-9. Had an incredible goal line stand, did the North Texas defense, and Texas State had to settle for a field goal. Now they are North Texas punting away, or bowl coverage all bowl season, brought to you by our friends at the Break Room Bar over in Live Oak, Smoky Mo's Barbecue, and Ewald Kubota. Of course, we're down to all the big games. We got this bowl. There's another one tonight. What is it? The Duke's Mayo Bowl is tonight. And that's one you just sit around for the very end to watch the coach that wins get doused with mayo. I don't even know who's playing in that one. I forget who's playing in that one. Don't worry about looking it up. It doesn't matter. I mean, I watched a bad college game last night. Duke had nobody. And, of course, Ole Miss had to go prove a point, and they did, because, all the bitching about they deserve to be in the playoffs. So, although clearly they've got to make some adjustments to this college football playoff format, because we've had some bad games, and the seeding and who gets first round buys, although in the history of the playoffs, we've always had that. There's one SEC team left. That's, of course, the Texas Longhorns. There's 2 from the Big Ten. Does that mean the Big Ten this year is better than the SEC? Depends on what you root for is how you're going to argue that. I don't know that it does, because you could argue SEC cannibalized themselves. But, there will be, hey, look at what Alabama did in their bowl game. Well, they didn't give a damn about that bowl game because it's not the playoffs. You could say that for a lot of teams. They didn't give a damn because, it is what it is. I mean, I look at Colorado and, all the hype about Colorado coming to the Valero Alamo Bowl and how much fun that was going to be. And the fact that Shedeur was going to play and Travis Hunter was going to play. The way they played, they didn't spend 8 seconds preparing for BYU. While they were here and they did their part, they didn't play like they gave a damn. BYU wanted to be here, and they kicked their ass. And you could see that in certain bowl games, and I think you saw that last night. Watching what UTSA did in their bowl game. I mean, they were happy to be there. They wanted to be there, and they played like it, but they played a Coastal team that was dealing with a bunch of portals. That's what happened last night for Duke in that game. Some games have been good. I mean, that game the other night was at Illinois and South Carolina. You could tell those teams cared about being there. You could tell both those coaches cared about being there, and you saw some good football. And that's kind of what bowl season has become. You get some good, you get more bad. In the playoffs, we got to figure out how to get better matchups. I think we all knew what was going to happen to Boise State, and it did. We all knew some of those, although honestly, thought Tennessee would give Ohio State a better game. Hell, I thought Oregon would give Ohio State a better game. Notre Dame doing what they did, no surprise. Penn State beating the hell out of SMU, no surprise. So I think there is some tweaks to be done to the college football playoff, but ultimately we'll see what the committee decides. Right now they're saying no, but they're in the middle of it. You look at the Final Four. The Final Four, honestly, fantastic. I mean, you look at, I mean, the way Ohio State has looked in their 2 playoff games. The Longhorn fan of me wants the team that played Michigan to show up in Dallas. But the reality is, Texas-Ohio State should be a hell of a game. You look at the Orange Bowl with Notre Dame and Penn State. That should be a hell of a game. You get 4 national brands, 4 fan bases that are passionate, and 4 teams that a lot of people hate. If you're college football, if you're the TV people, isn't that exactly what you wanted? We're going to be talking about what we see next Thursday, next Friday, and then the championship game on Monday the 20th. Plan ahead, put it on your calendar. Monday the 20th, the Blitz live out at the Rue Pub there at 281 in Redland Road, because, when there's any big game, you know where we're going to be, and that's going to be at the Rue Pub. Good place to go tonight to watch the Spurs and Nuggets as well. It's one of those weird NBA quirks. Spurs Nuggets tonight in Denver, and then tomorrow night in San Antonio. Denver had that slow start, but they've won 8 of 11. They're playing great. Joker's starting to play like he's going to be in talks about MVP again. No Jeremy Sohan tonight, which I'm going to guess that means Castle gets the start. We'll see. I want to see more of Castle, but we're also getting to the point now that we're into 2025. It's early January. You're going to start seeing a lot more trade rumors and trade talks. And, you get trade season underway. All the BS about Miami is not going to trade Jimmy Butler. That's not true, because now Jimmy Butler, his move, he says he wants out. He wants the joy back in basketball.
I'm going out there to compete to win either way. Whether I score 9 points or 29 points, I will compete. That's one thing that I will say. So you won't say that I'm out there not playing hard. It may look like that because my usage is down and I don't shoot the ball a lot, but we won't sit here and say that I don't play hard.
What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it?
What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball, and wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to joy back. I'm happy here, off the court, but I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
I mean, all right. you guys said you weren't going to trade me. My move. He's going to force his way out. You look around and you read all the different tea leaves that are out there. Looks like the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors most likely to get Jimmy Butler. He's not coming to San Antonio. Spurs Twitter, it ain't going to happen. He's not coming here. And quite frankly, I don't know that you want him. You look at his contract and he's got the player option for next year. Jimmy Butler is not what the Spurs need right now. And for the right now or the immediate next couple of years future, right? I wouldn't do the Jimmy Butler trade. I know Spurs fans and every fan base out there, you think, oh man, Jimmy Buckets, let's go get him. That's not going to happen. But I did see, and Pledge, if you want to jump in here, because I don't know if you and Jeff Garcia over at Ken's 5 in the Spurs Report talked about this or not, because I know you guys are besties. He put a tweet out yesterday about a hypothetical trade for Sacramento for De'Aaron Fox. And it had the Spurs getting Fox and giving up Keldon, Steph Castle, Trey Jones, the 2025 protected first-round pick from Chicago, and the Atlanta 2027 first and Sacramento's 2031 first for De'Aaron Fox. And I saw that and I wondered, how many shots did Jeff Garcia have of Fireball before he put that one out in the public?
I mean, he was just cultivating what had happened on another site. I believe it was Hoops Habit or something that put it out there. He's just repopulating it to get a reaction from Spurs fans, but it's a lot. But when you're trading for an all-star caliber guard, it's going to hurt. In some instance, you're not going to feel great about some of the assets you give up to acquire a player of his stature.
Well, and I get that. And anybody that's listened to this show any length of time over the last coming up on 17 years, every time I talk trade scenario, I say, why would the other team do that? And isn't it the same here? Yeah, you wanted De'Aaron Fox, but why would you do that? But I do change. Wemby is the only untradeable player on this team. But is Steph Castle in that untradeable right now? And I say that it would take a lot for me to give up on Steph Castle this early in his career. And it would be a lot more than a De'Aaron Fox. And quite honestly, I don't know what I would give up or want to get in return to include Steph Castle in any kind of trade. So Wemby is certainly off the, you're not even taking that phone call. But I do think, because I really like the future of what Steph Castle is going to be with the San Antonio Spurs. I want to see him grow together. Keldon, I've been trying to trade that guy for 2 years. I really like Trey Jones. Knowing the Spurs plans, I don't see them giving up 3 number ones, but they got so many damn picks, they could do a lot of that. I mean, would you do that trade that Jeff Garcia tweeted about without Steph Castle involved? Would it be Keldon, Trey, and the picks? Because the other part for Sacramento, do they want 3 players and 3 picks?
I wouldn't do that trade, mainly because I also have about as high of an opinion on Steph Castle as you do. But I do believe to acquire a player of his viability, they're going to want a player that they think they can build around. And it might have to be, if not Steph, Devin.
Devin is interesting. Right now, and again, I know he's a rookie. And so obviously the financial implications that come with having a rookie contract are certainly in play. I'm not saying that Steph Castle's untouchable. Wemby is untouchable, but Steph Castle is as close to untouchable in my mind as could be there. And again, I'd have to see what is really coming back, but it better blow you away. Devin Vassell, I'm taking phone calls on Devin Vassell, and I like Devin Vassell, but to your point, to get something in return that's that quality, I've got to give something up. As much as I want to get rid of Keldon Johnson, the other team's got to be like, we really want Keldon Johnson, right?
Exactly.
But at this point, I too many times this year I've gotten upset with Devin Vassell watching him play, because sometimes I think that guy forgets that he is not the number one option. Sometimes I watch Devin Vassell and wonder, does he not realize that Wemby is actually his teammate? You see what I mean? And I know he's a shoot. He was the guy. Now he's not. I don't know. I want to see them grow together, but there's too many times, I get mad at him watching him play because I see Wemby wide open and I see him taking a poor shot, what looks to be a poor shot decision. So I would take calls for Devin Vassell. Right now, I don't know that I would take a call on Steph Castle.
I mean, it'd have to be something massive for Steph Castle to be involved. Like, I don't know, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It would have. I mean, all right, dude, you could have a lot for that, but and it would have to be massive in return, a blockbuster for me to include Devin Vassell, which is why I don't think the Spurs are going to do anything crazy. The other part of it is, with the win the other night, the Spurs come into tonight's game, they're over 500. I expected them to be close to 500 at the end of the year. And what bothers me when I look at the Spurs record right now is they are a game over 500 and they just went 1-3 on a road trip. And I felt like they should have won every one of those games. They gave away some games that you probably should have won. And at some point, I've got to quit hearing we've got to learn how to win. At some point, we're a young team. We got to learn how to win. Castle's the only rookie, and they've cut his minutes some. The rest of this team has been around long enough. At 17-16, realistically, they should have 20 or 21 wins right now, which would put them around the 5th or 6th seed. If you look at the standings right now, with a couple, 3-4 games that you just know they gave away, if they were to have those extra wins, they would be right now where you see Dallas, where you see Denver, where you see the Lakers. Yet they gave away some games, and I know they're still quote unquote learning how to win, but man, I'm tired of hearing all of that. And, so it makes me wonder in that front office, while we talk about skipping steps and the process and everything that you hear and have heard from Pop or whoever in the front office, are they looking at this team thinking, you know what? I know we still don't have the wins in the win column because we're learning how to win, but we're a better team than what our record is. Maybe a trade here, maybe a trade there, and this team could be a playoff team this year.
Yeah, and I know De'Aaron Fox is the big carrot out there, but they were tied to Andrew Nembhard of Indiana earlier this offseason. And Jake Fisher recently reported that they have also, along with checking in on De'Aaron Fox, checked in on him again as well and his availability. And that could be something that could be less costly than, say, a De'Aaron Fox would be.
And that's more likely what the Spurs would end up doing. Less costly. That's good. It's good English. Less costly.
But what are you going to do with all these picks? I mean, you've got to you imagine they've stockpiled them for a reason, because Houston's having the same exact issue right now with a whole bunch of rookies with a lot of potential, but they're all going to come due at the same time. And while you like a lot of them, can you move one or two of those pieces in order to fast forward the rebuild that they've constructed?
Well, I mean, they've hoarded picks. We know that, and that's what the NBA is right now, because that's your trade chest, if you will. Most would rather have a lot of picks, depending on where a team is going. If you're going into the rebuild mode, you don't want a Keldon and a Trey and a Steph Castle. You want more picks. I'm not giving up 3 players and 3 picks for many, but I certainly wouldn't give up on a rookie. Keldon and his contract, I like Trey. So I really wouldn't want to see Trey go. You look at what's happening in Austin, there's nobody really there that could replace him if you're trying to be a playoff team this year. If you're not, then that's a different circumstance. And that's what I'm saying. I look at this team and think they should have more wins than they do, 3 or 4 more wins than they do. That would put them in the playoffs right now if they had those wins where I felt like they just let them get away and lost games that they should have won. If they're feeling like they are better than what their record shows and they are closer than maybe the timeline they had set out, maybe they are a little bit more active on the trade deadline, but it wouldn't be with a lot of current players. It would be more with all those picks that they have stockpiled, and that is exactly why they have stockpiled all those picks. So when they're ready, you use those in your trades to get better faster.
When you talk about like Trae Young and, you know, you like him, but there's also the Steph Castle's minutes have been reduced, and you've already got CP3, you've got Trae Jones, you've got Steph Castle, like you've got a gluttony of points and twos. At some point, if you're going to make more time for Steph Castle, you've got to make the logjam less logjammy for him.
Absolutely, but I also logjammy. You're using all kinds of good words here today, Pledge.
I'm on it.
You're on something. I look at what you're saying. I agree. And again, that's why those guys, they've got to figure this out. Castle, I don't know if he's losing minutes because he's hitting that rookie wall or what's going on. But with no Jeremy tonight, he's another guy that I wouldn't mind seeing go somewhere else. But again, is he hit his rookie wall? Are they comfortable enough to give him the keys to the car and say, all right, you're the guy? I know Chris Paul is there, so it's not going to happen this year. But Chris Paul, I mean, do you really think he comes back and plays another year? Maybe he does. I would put that as a coin flip right now because Chris Paul really does seem to be enjoying what's happening in San Antonio. At the same time, is Chris Paul one as the trade deadline gets closer? Do the Spurs say, thanks, Chris, for these couple of months? Now we're going to send you off to a contender because the one thing that guy is missing from his Hall of Fame resume is a championship ring. And could they, with his contract, very easy to do, trade him off to a contender as a thank you for spending 6 months in San Antonio?
I mean, the one thing is, though, if this team is going to be a playoff team, don't you want his veteran leadership to help you in their first playoff situations?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, that's the beauty of throwing spaghetti against the wall, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's which is what we're doing here. And again, you look at this trade scenario that kind of started this conversation. What'd you call it? Hoops Habit had it?
Yes, Hoops Habit.
Yeah, dumb. Dumb.
We'll see 18 million more of these dumb ones.
It's good for sports talk radio. I can tell you that. You look at tonight's game, the Spurs and Denver Nuggets. Nuggets playing better basketball, and they play again tomorrow in San Antonio. I always find this weird when the NBA has these kind of quirks in the schedule that, you know, you're playing, you know, a Friday night in Denver and then a Saturday night in San Antonio. So you wonder if, you know, third quarter, Denver's up big. Does everybody sit on the bench and, you know, wait till Saturday, or do you play them both almost like a little playoff series? All I know is if you want to win some money watching the games tonight, make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app. Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes right now with you've got college football, you got the NFL this weekend, the NBA, and one of the things you could do with their Pick'em game where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats is you can mix and match your favorite leagues, teams, and stars. So, you know, you could have Wemby. Let's go with Saturday, for example. Play all NBA tonight, but tomorrow you've got a couple NFL games. Imagine a pick'em entry that includes Wemby and Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson. You can do that. Underdog is the only pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. So you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the win now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play pick'em. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. Sign up with my promo code STAR. Deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up. Use promo code STAR at Underdog Fantasy.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting this Monday, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Smoky Mo's is the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio. Tailgating or game watching? Create your own party pack with your choice of meats, including brisket, turkey, sausage, and home-style sides, including our new bacon cheddar potatoes. Smoky Mo's barbecue gets its delicious flavor and aroma from quality meats prepped with our unique spice blend. Smoked low and slow over post oak, in-house every day. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue, served fast and friendly, with 8 locations. Find the one near you at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
When life changes fast, you need a lawyer who's been there. AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks offers unique experience as a veteran and first responder to give you a strategic, results-driven approach. Facing divorce, child custody battle, or a complex family dispute, the Hicks Law Firm offers flat-fee representation from beginning to end, so you know exactly what to expect with no surprises. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win. The Hicks Law Firm.
You know the Rue Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Rue Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Rue Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant, 281 at Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-656-1155. That's 800-656-1155. 800-656-1155.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line, golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Eagle on vacation. I'm Jason Minix, live at the South Texas RV Super Sale happening all weekend here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Ryan Eagle will be back on Monday. Blitz Monday at 2 o'clock, right after the Rich Eisen show. That is correct. The great Rich Eisen bringing his radio show to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star starting on Monday. So it will be the morning huddle. AJ will be back from vacation. Greeny, who knows if he'll be back from vacation, but there will be a show that says Greeny. And then the Rich Eisen show, then the Blitz, then extra innings with Pledge. Why are you looking at me like that? Greg's giving me a weird look. Oh, it's the first time that Greg Shelton has heard that the Rich Eisen show is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, which tells me multiple things. It tells me that he doesn't read company email. It tells me he doesn't read a second company email. It tells me he hasn't read the third company email. Or heard, I don't know, the 4 or 5 promos that have already run today here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, that Rich Eisen is going to be on these airwaves starting on Monday, noon to 2. No more Jim Rome. And he's giving me that look, too. Well, have you been under a rock? And look, this Jim Rome's decision in some ways. I mean, Jim Rome, as you all know, if you've heard, right before the holidays, they announced the Jim Rome show is moving to afternoon drive. Well, I mean, we've got a show here. So, and Rich Eisen is sliding into his place. So there's affiliates all over the country that are trying to figure out what they are going to do in the middays because they already have afternoon drive slots. So it's not like we were saying, all right, well, we're done with Jim. Although based on a lot of comments, seems like a lot of you are pretty happy with this decision. But this was Rome's decision to change time slots. So as an affiliate, we had to figure out, all right, what's going to go there. And for now, we're going with Rich Eisen. And like I said, based on a lot of comments I've seen on the YouTube chat and some on Twitter, great news. AD writes that right now. Great news. Rich Eisen, good dude. I'm excited to have Rich Eisen on. But again, this was Gilbert says Rome gone is the best news I've heard this week. Good. All right. Well, see, there you go. Sometimes you know something happens and people get happy. But again, this was Rome's decision to move his time slot that he's had for like 30 years. So we'll see. But realize everybody's on vacation. Some people will be surprised. Some won't. It's part of it. Rich Eisen, imagine we'll probably get him on in the next week or two on the Blitz. Probably we'll see Rich, like we do every year at the Super Bowl, which this year will be down in New Orleans. Obviously, he's down there with everything he does with the NFL Network, but does a show. So, yeah, I'm excited to have the Rich Eisen show on here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The Texas State Bobcats and North Texas, they're about to go to overtime. The Bobcats lead at 16-14, 8 seconds left. 4th and 7 right now for North Texas. Been an exciting first half of football here. Like seeing the two former Incarnate Word coaches going head-to-head in Eric Morris and G.J. Kinney. So that game about halftime, we'll keep you posted throughout. Those two coaches, they're not worried about their future. A lot of NFL coaches are going to find their futures are going to be determined early next week. It's a part of the business. I think most of us agree it sucks when somebody loses their job. But in the NFL world, and to a degree, radio, some people want to see people get fired. And although in reality, you don't want anybody to lose their job, but we know it's going to happen. And, you know, it's the nature of the beast. A lot of talk all season about Mike McCarthy, and this is Jerry and Steven's fault. You know, they didn't give him an extension last year. They didn't fire him, so he's been a lame duck coach all year. And here we are at the end of the year, and maybe next week we'll find something out, or maybe not. His contract doesn't technically expire until January 14th. If you think about how they treated Jason Garrett, Jason Garrett was never fired. His contract expired, and his key card didn't work anymore, and he was no longer head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. It felt like that was like middle of January, but The Athletic reported it was actually January 5th. So it was 6 days after the regular season was over, his contract finally expired. For Mike McCarthy, you're looking at January 14th if we don't hear something a little bit sooner. What's interesting is Jerry Jones said this morning that there's nothing that's going to happen between now and next week, like anything in the Washington game, whether they win in a blowout, lose in a blowout, nothing's going to happen that's going to really impact his decision-making process.
Well, we all want to win, and we want to have the last game of the year with a win. And so that's important. But, no, the hay's in the barn, really, as far as our staff is concerned and the qualities of each of the coaches and of what they have brought to the table, where they are in their careers, the circumstances, what we dealt with this year on a coach by position basis. And so, no, I don't think that something that would happen out here Sunday would impact where we're going to be as we go forward.
Now, I'm not redneck enough to actually know what hay in the barn means, but I'm going to assume hay in the barn means Jerry's already made his decision. Whether it's keeping Mike McCarthy and Zimmer and all those guys or not, if he tells me the hay's in the barn, then I got to figure he's already made a decision, which also tells me Stephen Jones flat out lied to me yesterday when he was on the Blitz, because Stephen said he and Jerry, they haven't even talked about Mike McCarthy's future yet, which we all know is BS.
Almost the second it's over. Obviously the future creeps into what we're about, and even now that we know we're eliminated. So, there's some internal just with Jerry and myself, but our focus is on trying to finish strong, go beat the Commanders, and go from there.
Yeah, and go from there means having a meeting with Mike McCarthy. But again, it's got to pledge. Steven says they haven't done that yet.
Well, we just, like I said, we've been so focused on this season. We hadn't really even thought about it in terms of timing. Obviously, Mike and McCarthy and his staff, between Zimmer and Bones and that whole crew, have done a hell of a job for us. And, obviously we'll really sit down and go over that. But, in terms of, starting to set up time schedules and those type of things in terms of when we'll make decisions, we haven't gotten to that point.
Yeah, maybe the calendar invite hasn't been set. Jerry says the hay's in the barn. Mike McCarthy, though, apparently both McCarthy and Jerry, different reports out there saying they actually have not talked about any kind of extension yet. We're truly waiting until the end of the season, which, as Mike McCarthy told Rob Thompson this morning on the Morning Huddle, is the head coach of the Cowboys, is on every week, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Their normal end-of-season plan, like evaluation stuff, it's kind of fluid right now because of everybody's contract situation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're always setting schedule. I mean, we'll step in here Monday. We'll start the evaluation process, and and that's it's obviously it's different this year because of the contract situations. But you just prioritize things and keep working. That's all you can do
until your key card doesn't work or you get an extension. And again, you listen to all kinds of things from Jerry and for Steven. They don't seem unhappy. I mean, Jerry again this morning on 105.3 The Fan, just went on and on about all the positives that Mike McCarthy has had over the last 5 years.
Well, we've had 3 outstanding seasons, 12-win seasons, and those are good to say, be tried about it. They are good. And you get those, you hang around the rim like that, and you will generally have a real chance to step on up there and get the big one. It's unfortunate that we didn't last year. It's unfortunate we didn't this year. So it doesn't take me. It doesn't have any effort on my part to look and see the positives of what we've had as a team under Mike McCarthy.
And again, Jerry's not lying there. But has it been enough to say, let's do another 3, 4, 5 years with Mike McCarthy? Do you want to start over? You also have to say, who are you going to get that's better? There are reports out there, believe it or not, that there are other teams that are interested in Mike McCarthy becoming their head coach if he becomes available, if the Dallas Cowboys don't retain him. Mind you, he's a free agent. He could tell Jerry to F off and go get another job on January 15th because he's not under contract. But everything Mike has said indicates that he would like to keep his job and not have to move again. But there are other teams that are interested. So keep in mind that Tom Pelissero report from the NFL Network that his contract expires January 14th. Chicago is one of those teams that are interested in Mike McCarthy, according to reports. Well, they've already fired their coach. They could start interviewing whenever. Well, it's January 3rd. Let's see, tomorrow's the 4th, the 5th. So the 6th season is over. If the Bears don't want to wait until the 15th to interview Mike McCarthy, they can always request an interview from the Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, nothing in the NFL is private, so we would all know about that request and whether the Cowboys granted Mike McCarthy the on-to-go interview or denied the Bears their request. So it'll be interesting to see how Jerry plays this out over the next several days once the season is over just after 3 o'clock on Sunday. There aren't a lot of meaningful games on Sunday, but there are some. Let's talk about it coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding I-35 with the Star.com. South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting this Monday, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I got to tell you about my new Connecticut quality water softener. It's been in my house for some time now. And, I was skeptical. I really was, but I'm not anymore. It is a game changer. It's incredible the difference that you can see with a Connecticut quality water softener. They've been serving San Antonio and South Texas for over 50 years. Products are made in America, and you know as well as I do. You live in San Antonio, South Texas, the water is so hard. You need a water softener. And since you're going to need a water softener, you want to get the best, and that is a Connecticut quality water softener. What I love about it, you don't plug anything in. It doesn't run on electricity, so there's no increase in your electric bill, no expensive electrical components to repair or replace. And soft water is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And right now, the fine folks at Connecticut will put a water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. You heard me right. Absolutely free, no contract. They'll do it for 90 days. Hey, if after 90 days you don't like it, they'll come and get it, and you don't owe a dime. But I promise you'll fight them to take that out of your home after you've had it in your home. All you have to do is get the process started. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle? Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service, GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
Hey, Manny Jr. here with Rock's Discount Vitamins. This holiday season, don't let those extra pounds sneak up on you. We have the largest selection of weight control products to help you stay on track. Boost your metabolism with our non-stimulant fat burners, or try Cuts, which helps your carbs work for you, not against you. With 12 locations across San Antonio, Rock's Discount Vitamins has everything you need to keep your diet in check this holiday season. Find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota.
Come into one of our locations and check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal, including a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. I think everyone knows that driving while using a cell phone, texting, posting videos is dangerous. Study after study shows that use of a cell phone like this is the same or worse than driving under the influence. Yet, many people insist on using their cell phones while driving. I've had many cases where my client was injured by one of these people because they chose to use their cell phone. Who are these people? You and I have both seen them, probably today. Men, women, old, young, minivan drivers, truck drivers, 18-wheeler drivers. I know this. The same person that chooses to use their cell phone while driving is the same person who will lie about it later just to avoid taking responsibility. If you choose to use a cell phone while driving and hurt someone, you'd better hope they don't call me. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, call me. Jason Thompson, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In college football at the ServPro First Responder Bowl, Texas State leads North Texas 16-14 at the half. Former Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott cleared waivers after being released earlier this week. He is free to sign with any team. And Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones said today on 105.3 The Fan about the future of the coaching staff. The hay is in the barn as far as the staff is concerned.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star at the South Texas RV Super Sale happening all weekend long. Tonight, doors here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall open until 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, 10 to 8. On Sunday, 10 until 6 o'clock. With, I don't know how many RVs and trailer things they have in here, hundreds. And then the parking lot, too. It's incredible. And you look at some of these, $400,000 or $500,000 rigs. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So get on out here. South Texas RV Super Sale happening all weekend long. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. And I just saw a pledge on my Facebook memories. And I know Joe didn't know this. I didn't really pay much attention to it. But it was 3 years ago today that Joe Reinagel joined us on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So, kind of going back and thinking about, that whole football season, I went solo knowing that Reinagel was going to join us. He was retiring from television, although for a couple of months he did double duty, would do the show and then go and do the 10 o'clock news there at Ken's TV. But that was 3 years ago. And you think about how weird of a time that was. Because the photo that popped up, and I remember the whole article in the Express News because they used that photo, COVID was still kind of there, even though it kind of feels like we've all been back to work. But we were supposed to start in studio, and somewhere during the holiday, they said no. And so the Blitz with Reinagel from the Minix Kitchen Table is how we actually started this run together 3 years ago. I didn't realize it's already been 3 years. I didn't either. And as I'm looking through my Facebook memories, a lot of memories having to do with the All-American Bowl, including, a conversation that I was having with a guy named Kyle Allen, who was the #1 quarterback recruit in the country on his way to A&M. I remember him out of Tucson. He was, so sometimes you look at these rankings and go, I think about the college football playoffs that are going on, the number of guys that we have had here in San Antonio, the Navy All-American Bowl happening next Saturday in the Alamo Dome, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by Valero. We've got a family 4-pack of tickets to give away right now. Let's give them to caller number 12. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You're going to win a 4-pack of tickets plus 4 Whataburgers, 2 games, 1 ticket, 4 free Whataburger coupons. Can't beat that. The Navy All-American Bowl, of course, the 100 best in the country. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by Valero. The best senior football players in both games will be live here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And it is obviously later than it has been in the past. Now, keep in mind, because Greg Shelton was just asking me, why? Instead of having it this weekend. The games, especially since NBC essentially bought it, the game is noon to 3, and that leads into the first round of the playoffs. Well, they moved. So this game moved. And dome availability. So if you're curious, if you're wondering why, there you go. Easy enough. You're going to go. And you're going to see tomorrow's stars because that's what this game has been able to produce over the years. It is pretty incredible when you think about the talent that has come through San Antonio in preparing for this year's game. Think about this. 594 draft picks, including the last 4 #1 overall selections. 247 Pro Bowl selections, 93 Super Bowl champs, 18 Heisman finalists, 6 Heisman winners have all played in this All-American Bowl throughout the history. The first one was in Dallas. The rest of them have all been here in San Antonio. And next Saturday, January 11th, we'll get the 25th annual All-American Bowl, the top 100 players. But you start thinking about that. And, I'm fortunate because I've been on the radio call for this for a long time. The number of players that I've seen, and you talk to them when they're high schoolers, some have worked out, some haven't. Some you thought, that guy's not so good. And others, are what they are. I think my most favorite memory is Derrick Henry, because back when there was one signing period like there should be, that was a big part of the game as players would declare. And Derrick Henry is a big dude. I mean, a big dude. And even though he had all those incredible high school rushing records from the state of Florida, there were a lot of questions on whether he would be a defensive player at the college level. And, Derek does his deal, picks the Alabama hat, puts it on. I asked him the question, why Alabama? And he turns to me and basically says, everybody else wants me to be a defensive tackle or a linebacker. Nick Saban said I could go there and play running back. I'm going to go to Alabama. I'm going to be a running back, and I'm going to win the Heisman. And he did. He did. It's incredible. Fun stuff. Can't wait for next Saturday for both games. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by Valero and the Navy All-American Bowl. Coming up, John Machota from The Athletic will join us. We'll talk some about Washington, but more about the future of Mike McCarthy here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs play tonight. They play tomorrow night as well. You got NFL action tomorrow. You got a full Sunday of NFL. You want to go watch? Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. Best place to go watch any big game, any big fight, because of those 3 massive 170-inch televisions and, of course, TVs all around. And when you go to the Roo Pub, go hungry. Food is incredible. They got the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, including a new bison burger that is outstanding. Great hot dogs, a great chicken sandwich, their appetizers. I'm told the salads are great, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. They got happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Are you facing divorce, a child custody battle, or a complex family dispute? AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks brings unique experience to the table. As a veteran and first responder, he knows the challenges, he knows the pressure, and he knows how to fight for what's yours. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat-free representation from beginning to end and payment plans so you can get representation now. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win.
The South Texas RV Super Sale is back at Expo Hall to Freeman, and boy, do we have a great show this year. Our dealers are loaded with RVs, and they're making deals. A full array of Class A, B, and C motorhomes, gigantic fifth wheels, toy haulers, and travel trailers. So go on over to SouthTexasRVSupersale.com and buy tickets in advance. No need to wait in line. We'll see you today through Sunday at Expo Hall to Freeman. The South Texas RV Super Sale is back. Doors open daily at 10. SouthTexasRVSupersale.com.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. C.J. Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing victims of negligent drivers. When it comes to insurance companies, I hate to state the obvious, but as consumers of insurance products, we as Texans have never had fewer rights than we do right now. Over the past 20 years, our rights as Texas insurance consumers have diminished every year. The insurance lobbyist over that 20 years has been very, very successful. The result? If you're on your own, you have no chance of a fair recovery without an experienced attorney. I was licensed to practice in 1994. Over the past 32 years, I have seen the insurance company's playbook develop. Delay, deny, depose. It's not just crime scene evidence. It's a very real approach most every insurance company takes in responding to the claims of traffic accident victims. Hire someone who knows the game. Hire somebody who wins. Hire me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Live at the South Texas RV Super Sale here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Joe Reinagel on vacation still. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Friday, because it is Friday. I know a lot of us are trying to figure out what day it is. John Machota certainly knows. He joins us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. John Machota from The Athletic, as you get ready for the Cowboys regular season finale. On Sunday, are you more interested in what you see on the field, like a true game story, or is it more about Jerry and Mike McCarthy's comments afterwards?
Yeah, it's Jerry and Mike's comments and afterwards. It's not even close. They don't even need to play a game. If they just told me that both teams forfeited it, but we could just show up at the locker room and talk to Jerry and Mike, and the season was officially over, I would just sign up for that. Yeah, no. I mean, it does look like things are pointing in a direction to where Trey Lance will probably, if he doesn't start, will play a lot in this game. So I guess there's some intrigue there. But I think that the only way that would be that interesting of a storyline is if he just like tore it up and he was great, and they beat a Washington team that's playing to try and get the 6th seed, that is playing for something. And Trey Lance comes out there and he lights them up, a playoff team. I think that would be a fascinating story, but I would be stunned if that happened.
I think we all would, although, Steven yesterday with me here on the Blitz, or even listening to Jerry or Mike McCarthy this morning on our morning show, competitive advantage. They won't say how much Trey will play, but there's also a bonus in play here for Cooper Rush. Seems like he needs to play a lot of snaps on Sunday to get a $500,000 bonus, or I don't know if this is allowed. Would Jerry just say, Cooper, well, you're going to get your bonus because we just really need to see something from Trey Lance?
So I've heard that is possible, that they can give bonuses out, even if the player doesn't necessarily. Now, that's all up to the team if they want to do this or not. But I'm just reading in between the lines this week. And one example is, so the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, I can't think of a time that doesn't speak in front of, if not a podium, they speak in front of a backdrop. I guess Tony Romo spoke in his locker, and Dak has at times. But during game weeks, there's that designated day during the week where the starting quarterback talks outside the locker room, and they have the backdrop with the Cowboys logo and sponsors on it and things like that. And so when Dak got hurt in Atlanta, Cooper Rush took over as quarterback. Well, he took over doing the exact same thing. Thursdays he would be outside the locker room. He would talk about. So this week is the first week where Trey Lance talked at his locker, Cooper Rush talked at his locker. That was the first sign to me that I was like, oh yeah, there's probably going to be a little bit of a change here. The other one was, Mike McCarthy has been pretty open about saying we're sticking with Cooper Rush when they were sticking with Cooper Rush. And then now that he's not saying that, that also makes me think it's Trey Lance. And then the other part of it is that I can't remember which game it was, but earlier in the season, you could tell that Rico was starting to get more carries. And I asked Mike during the week at the Star about, so is it now Rico's show? And he said then that it was, oh, well, that's, a competitive disadvantage to share that. Well, if you were still going with the tandem, you just say it right there. It's only a competitive disadvantage if you say exactly who that person was, and then sure enough, Rico from there on out was the guy. So that's why I'm just reading the tea leaves and being around the team. All the signs are pointing to me that Trey Lance. And then the last one for me is I'm a really big. I always check Vegas lines all the time, and up until this morning, it was Cowboys plus 3.5, which I thought was really low for a team that in Washington that is a better team and is playing for something. And then today it's gone up to 6.5, which would also make me think that Vegas knows that it's going to be Trey Lance too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vegas always knows. John Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz. As we get down to it, like Steven told me yesterday, and I saw you tweeted out that they haven't discussed, which is BS. They know what they're going to do. Jerry used the term this morning, the hay is in the barn. Now, I'm not quite redneck enough to know exactly what that means, but it tells me Jerry has made up his mind. He's made a decision. He knows. He's just not telling us. What is your gut feeling on not only what will happen, but when we will find out?
I don't think we find out for at least till the end of the week, because I believe that Jerry will give Mike McCarthy the opportunity to do his typical exit interviews with his staff and with the players that they always do at the end of the season, whether it's the first year of your contract or the last year like he is right now. So that will take a few days. And then at the end of the week, I think that's when Mike will meet with Jerry. So I'm thinking like maybe next weekend we'll probably know, which is very similar timeline to what it was with Jason Garrett, where I believe it was about 7-8 days after the season finale, which was also against Washington, that they put out a statement. The team put out a statement that they were going in another direction. So I think that could potentially be it. And in terms of which way they're leaning, I would say right now it's probably leaning towards going in another direction at head coach. There's just been too many things said over the last few weeks that I just don't think you say if you're bringing Mike back definitively. And so that's the only reason why the feeling I get, I'm not like 100% on it, but I'm leaning strongly to that they're probably going in another direction at coach, which just opens up a whole another line of questioning because there isn't an obvious replacement. There isn't that obvious coach out there.
And that's it. So you look at it, and what I find interesting, and your partner there at The Athletic tweeted it out yesterday, and it surprised me. Garrett's contract expired on January 5th. It felt like they drug this on for 2 weeks with Jason Garrett. They kind of can with Mike McCarthy. His contract doesn't expire until January 14th. But you look at the report that the Bears might be interested in Mike McCarthy. Would the Cowboys give McCarthy permission to go interview for the Bears before the 14th?
It's totally possible. But I will say this: if that happens, then they've completely flipped the hand around, and they've shown us their cards if they do that. If they allow him to interview with another team, then they're not trying to bring him back. And then vice versa. If they go to block it, then they're trying to bring him back. Because you wouldn't sit there and block it and then just to be like, well, no, we're just going to run out your contract, and we're going to. First of all, let's put it this way: no matter which way they go, don't think for a second that Jerry doesn't respect Mike McCarthy. Like, he's not going to do him wrong like that. Like you said, he mentioned this morning the hay's in the barn. I think he has a good idea. If there's another team that wants to talk to him and he's not trying to bring back Mike, he's not going to hold Mike back from interviewing with the team. So if a report comes out or you see something that Mike's interviewing with another team, I think that the hand is being shown that that they're going in another direction.
It's going to be fascinating because I'm with you. I'm not sure if Mike McCarthy, have you done enough to get an extension? Probably not in this year that was supposed to be Super Bowl or bust and you don't make the playoffs. But who are you going to get to replace Mike McCarthy that's better than Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, I don't think that you would necessarily be moving on because you definitively go, hey, this guy is the better option. I think you would do it just because change for change's sake. That you're like, we've seen 5 years of this. I don't like where this is going. The roster is not going to change very much. So I don't really think that we can just run this back another year. So if Jerry's feeling that, then it's almost just a change just to make a change. So maybe that means he goes younger. But there's a lot. There's a lot of the names that are out there that if you went down the list with me and we just ran off these names, there'd be a lot of them that if you told me I was coaching another team and you told me it was between that guy or Mike McCarthy, I would be like, well, why wouldn't you just keep Mike McCarthy? And when just to give you some examples, it'd be like, okay, so they're going to bring in Pete Carroll, John Gruden, Ron Rivera, Cliff Kingsbury, any of these former head coaches that are back in the cycle again, Brian Flores, something like that. Like, are any of those names, Mike Vrabel even, like, are any of those names really where you're like, oh, that's going to be way better than Mike McCarthy? No, but it's a change.
It's a change. Now, I will say Vrabel is the one that I find most interesting because I'm just a fan of him and the way he did things in Tennessee, and I thought it was wrong, right? But if you bring in Vrabel or Ron Rivera, who's a nice guy, but then what are you going to do with your offense? Because with Mike McCarthy, he's not only your head coach, but he's your offensive coordinator.
For sure. I just feel like whoever, just the way it is now in the NFL, and certainly when you're talking about the highest paid player in NFL history, it's not the coordinator that they bring in, whoever it is, or let's say it's one of those. Let's say it's a Ben Johnson. Let's say it's someone who's going to be the head coach and call the plays. Like, that coach or whoever that person is that's coming in to be interviewed, they're going to have to talk about how they're going to best utilize Dak Prescott. It's not about what you're going to do with the offense. You have Dak Prescott for the next 4 years, and I can guarantee that to you because we're paying him $60 million per year, which is a lot more than I'm paying you, head coach. So whatever your plan is, it has to involve how are you going to best utilize number 4. And so that's why I don't think it'll be like one of these things where it's like, if you're just kind of teetering at the quarterback position where you're just like, it could be wholesale changes on offense. It won't be wholesale changes on offense. It'll be built around whatever's the best for CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott because they're combined paying almost $100 million per year to those two players. So I don't think that there'll be these drastic changes with a new coach, whether it's the head coach / play caller like they have right now, or if it's a defensive guy like a Vrabel who then brings in his own OC.
Yeah, and again, I mean, there's so many questions because I imagine with everybody, and I mean everybody on that coaching staff their contract expires at the end of this season, correct? Like I've said, like the weight staff, the strength and conditioning coordinator position, right? Isn't everybody's contract about to expire?
As far as I know, but I mean, I would say anytime you're bringing a new coach, they're probably going to bring their own staff, unless in like the Jerry situation. You never know. You can't 100% rule out. Let's say, for example, again, a Ben Johnson, where he's like, yeah, Ben, I really want you. You can have this job. I'll pay you what you want. But Mike Zimmer is going to be the DC because I want a coach on the staff that's a former head coach because you're now a first-year head coach. I want a little stability there. I don't think that Ben Johnson would be on board with that, but that could be one of the examples where you see a coach carried over. But again, I mean, but that doesn't mean Mike Zimmer's not under contract. I mean, his contract ends at the end of the year too. So to answer your question, from as far as I know, yeah, all their contracts run out.
It's going to be interesting. And a lot of players too. You look at like a Jordan Lewis, some of these other guys. What has the mood been like with the access you've had with the players, especially those that are going to become free agents? Has this year just been such an ass whip that they can't wait to get out of there and go somewhere else? Or, do they want to try to do what they can to stay in Dallas? Who's playing for their job with the Cowboys this weekend?
Yeah, that's a good question because I'm this year isn't even a debate for me. So now I'm thinking of my whole entire 14 years of covering the Cowboys. I'm trying to think if I've ever talked to a player that wanted to leave the Cowboys. I can't think of anybody. I really can't. Unless it's like, we'll use last year as an example. Dorrance Armstrong, if the Cowboys are going to pay him, Dorrance Armstrong's still with the Cowboys. Tyler Biotish is still with the Cowboys. But now the financial, if the Cowboys don't want to pay you, which they don't know that right now. Even talking to Jordan Lewis this week, he doesn't know where the parameters are going to be. He wants to be back with the Cowboys. He's coming off of probably his best season as a pro. So he also could get offers from other teams. But if the Cowboys are playing ball and they want him back, Jordan Lewis wants to remain in Dallas, I just don't know many players that, if the money's right, want to leave Dallas. That's why I always kind of laugh a little bit, because if you're a fan of the Cowboys, maybe you just live in the Dallas area, and that it's so easy to get beaten down with the day-to-day and stuff like that. But you can't ever forget, in this NIL era that we live in and this athlete that we live in nowadays, don't ever underestimate the brand of the Dallas Cowboys. As nauseating as it is, I use this as an example all the time. Go ahead and tell me the other team that you always hear the guys talking about on draft day or in free agency. Like, man, I like to play with the Cowboys. Like, who's the other team? I've never heard another player on draft day like, please just let me make it to the Packers. Please let me just fall to 17 to the Steelers. You never hear it ever. And it's with the Cowboys all the time. These are young kids. They've never seen them win a Super Bowl. It's because of the brand.
It's because of the brand, with the exception of Zeke, who apparently has to be released to go land on a playoff roster. He's cleared waivers, and from what I could tell, his phone hasn't rung.
Well, yeah. So I guess then I'll couch what I said with players that still have a lot of tread left on the tire. That I mean, obviously, I thought he'd be claimed by some. I really did. Like, especially being a guy that follows Detroit, I thought the Lions might. I knew that there was some interest there in the past, and then they have David Montgomery out, and the fact that he hasn't, been with them either, like that just kind of surprised me. I thought he would get picked up right away because I thought that's why he was asking for the release, because maybe his agent already had something lined up, and that doesn't appear to be the case unless maybe they do for next week or something. But yeah, I mean, we saw Zeke enough this year to know that, that didn't make a lot of sense that they brought him back. But it's one of those things. Look, when they signed him, it was right when the draft was over, when most of us thought they would draft a running back at some point, and then they didn't. And so it was almost like a Jerry Jones type thing of like, well, I'll show you guys. I'm going to bring back Ezekiel Elliott. And I think most people looked around like, yeah, that doesn't really answer the issue here. You need a young back that, you're going to have for the next 4 or 5 years. And that was never going to be the case with Zeke.
No, a disaster, as was Dalvin Cook. He got 8 carries and 20 yards on the season? Will he get some run on Sunday, or will it be a lot of Deuce Vaughn?
I would think it'd be Deuce Vaughn. I mean, if you're going with Trey Lance, I would think that you'd be going with some of the younger options, just because Deuce Vaughn could possibly show you something that makes you want to keep him on the roster. Like Dalvin Cook's not doing that. Dalvin Cook, we've probably seen his last snaps in the NFL. So I find it hard to believe they go that direction. It would make sense to go with Deuce Vaughn.
Absolutely. I agree. Is there anything on Sunday for the actual game, other than it being Cowboys against Washington, that you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, for sure, if Lance plays the bulk of it, I'll just be interested in that, because really all we've seen him in is preseason action, which, to be honest with you, if Lance is out there the entire game, I would think a lot of the game he's playing with guys he would be playing with in the preseason, guys that are his receivers are going to be like I don't know how much Brandon Cooks is going to stay out there. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb's not playing. So, maybe you see something from Jalen Tolbert or Jonathan Mingo or something like that. And then the other one for me is the same thing I felt going into this season is you always want to try and see something from Ozzie Smith. I mean, he was your first-round pick a couple of years ago. So, and I guess you could say the same thing about Tyler Guyton, just to see him play well to finish off the season of his rookie year, again, a first-round pick, go in the offseason with some positive momentum. So things like that. But I also would say, just because of the way this season's gone for them, there is a little bit of the whole, just get through this one and not have any player suffer some major injury that, like, we've seen with Overshown and Trayvon Diggs, where it's like it could potentially affect you going into next season. You'd like to get out of this last one without, Micah Parsons suffering any setbacks or players like that.
John Machota from The Athletic. Make sure you're subscribing to The Athletic and following him on Twitter, because I imagine the next several weeks in this offseason are going to be pretty incredible. While the season sucked, the offseason should be fantastic.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, and again, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not from Dallas, but I do love covering the Dallas Cowboys. I've been super bored covering this team the last couple of months, so I'm just fine with it heating up.
Yep, I'm with you. Let's get to the off season, because this season it ends Sunday and it can't end soon enough.
I could not agree with you more. I was telling somebody the other day, my 14 years covering the Cowboys, it's this year and 2015, the year when Romo got hurt. Just the 2 worst seasons I've covered. Just so boring. Not really any great storylines, and it just, like, you could tell early on in the season that they weren't getting the train back on the tracks. That it was going to be a long, slow bleed. And so, yes, to your point, Sunday finally that comes to an end.
Absolutely. Cowboys in Washington. John, always appreciate it, my friend. We'll catch up soon.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate it. John Machota from The Athletic on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Games at noon on Sunday. Of course, listen to it. The great Brad Sham here on 94.1, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. And it really is one of those, like, let's get to the offseason, because this offseason should be fascinating for the Cowboys. How they handle Micah Parsons. Do they go get a free agent? Who's going to be the coach? Who's going to be the coordinators? Because there's going to be changes. I mean, Jerry last year was so pissed off after that loss to Green Bay that it clouded, I think, a lot of his decision making, because he did have last year a roster capable of winning a Super Bowl, and they failed miserably in the postseason after a great regular season. And Jerry was mad all offseason. And you go back to what we were talking about when we were in Oxnard. It was a weird feeling. This season, not a surprise when you kind of go back and look. This was an offseason where I think a lot of Cowboy fans were pretty realistic that it wasn't going to be a Super Bowl. And Cowboy fans, we're delusional. Every year, no matter what, a Super Bowl. This year, we didn't have that. I don't know that we had apathy because stadium's still full and people still want to talk about them. But expectation, I think they're about where we expected them to be. Maybe a little worse, but with the injuries, yikes, this season, thank goodness, Sunday, we get to start officially looking to next at about 3:30 on Sunday afternoon, and then Monday figuring out what the coaching situation is going to be. It's going to be fascinating. It is the Blitz here live at the South Texas RV Super Sale at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. We're here till 6. The show goes tonight till 8. Saturday, it's open from 10 to 8. Sunday, 10 to 6. It's going to be one of those weekends where you might need your AC during the day and your heater at night. Next week looks like you might need your heater. Having problems with your AC, your heater, or any plumbing issues, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899, 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are full service, experts at worst case scenarios, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. They've got a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899. 651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting this Monday, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOVE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Hi, I'm Manny Jr. from Rock's Discount Vitamins. If you're looking to build muscle, strength, and boost athletic performance, check out our huge selection of anabolic pro-hormones. These powerful supplements provide your body with essential nutrients for muscle growth, faster recovery, fat loss, and even improved bone health and libido. Visit one of our 12 San Antonio locations or go online at rocksdiscountvitamins.com to learn more. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support. rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
Smoky Mo's is the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio. Tailgating or game watching? Create your own party pack with your choice of meats, including brisket, turkey, sausage, and home-style sides, including our new bacon cheddar potatoes. Smoky Mo's barbecue gets its delicious flavor and aroma from quality meats prepped with our unique spice blend. Smoked low and slow over post oak, in-house, every day. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue, served fast and friendly, with 8 locations. Find the one near you at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota.
Come into one of our locations and check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal, including a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered at Round Table Pizza. We've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to SASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Eagle on vacation. I'm Jason Minix on this Friday, live here at the South Texas RV Superstore. Going to be a good weekend here if you're in the market for RVs. I saw one of our regular listeners, Jacob Eric, who's commenting on YouTube. He's walking around here checking out all these RVs, and he's like, dude, man, these are insane. Some of them are, man. Come check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you look at where we are right now, weekend of the NFL. And it's a challenge for your pro football pick'em challenge. At SASportsStar.com. Get your picks in. This is the final week. Weekly winners get that gift card to the Mellow Mushroom. Then the local grand prize winner gets $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. And it looks like a tight race as I'm looking at the leaderboard. There's a guy right now with a 1-game lead, and then there's a couple that are 3 back. And with who's playing, who's not playing this weekend, it's kind of a crapshoot on what may or may not happen. So get your picks in at SASportsStar.com. As far as what we do here on the Blitz, we call it Prime Picks.
Prime Picks on the Blitz.
So every week we make picks for your entertainment. On the year, I've got the lead, 121-59. Pledge in second at 114-66. Ryan Eagle in third at 110-70. Although Joe did make up some ground last week. He won last week. He went 8-2. Both Pledge and I went 7-3. So let's look at the prime picks, all NFL, all kind of crazy games this weekend. We'll start with a big one on Saturday, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Ryan Eagle is taking Pittsburgh. I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals in this one.
Me too. They put up a ton of points the last time they faced each other. And I think with Pittsburgh basically kind of locked in, Bengals just have more to play for.
Yeah, they have more to play for. And quite honestly, Pittsburgh's kind of been reeling as of late. Whatever magic Russell Wilson seemed to have 5, 6, 7 weeks ago is gone. And Cincinnati, it could be high scoring, but give me Joe Burrow in a high-scoring matchup all the time. Kansas City and Denver. Kansas City would love for Cincinnati to not make the playoffs, but they've decided they're not going to play anybody. So can Carson Wentz beat Denver? I say no. I'm taking the Broncos in that one.
Part of me wonders if Andy Reid can capture what Carson Wentz was before that ACL injury when he was an MVP candidate. But part of me also thinks Kansas City wants to eliminate Cincinnati from potential playoff contention. And by letting Denver win, they can do that.
And they will. All three of us, Ryan Eagle too, taking Denver. The Rams and Seahawks. Rams could affect their seeding with the win, but they're going to rest everybody. And they haven't been playing good football. Seattle playing out the string. I'm taking Seattle. So is Ryan Eagle.
Yeah, I'm going to take Seattle too, just because they're not playing anybody in Los Angeles. So what are they going to do with their backups? I don't even know who their backup quarterback is.
We'll find out.
Is it still Wofford?
Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe it's possible. Atlanta and Carolina. Part of me would love to see Carolina end on a high note. They played better football as of late, but I think it's going to be the Falcons. I'm taking Atlanta. So is Joe.
Just too much to play for, and I think Bijan has a day.
Jets and Miami. And, man, the ultimate suckage bowl. Ryan Eagle's taking the Jets. I'm taking the Dolphins. Now, granted, I don't know if Tua's going to play. But I certainly, this is just personal, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers end his time with the Jets with a bad loss.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great, but I could also see him going out with a win. And it's the latest report was Tua's unlikely to play. And that game is in New York, so I'm not sure what the forecast is, but that could change
it's January, January in New York. It's going to be cold, and the Dolphins suck when it's cold. I'm still taking the Dolphins. The Jets just suck that much. I saw Sauce Gardner isn't going to play. Chargers and Raiders. Both Joe and I are taking the Chargers. The Raiders a bigger dumpster fire than, well, the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers too. I think they can affect their seeding with Pittsburgh with a win here if Pittsburgh loses.
Colts and Jags. Two bad teams make a good game. I don't like what I'm just going to roll with everything McAfee has been bitching about. It's a bleep show there in Indy as well. So give me the Jags.
Not only is it a bleep show, but quietly, the Jags have been playing better with Mac Jones. They haven't been winning, but they've been playing better football, so I think they get a chance to get a win here.
Brian Eagle taking the Colts. The Houston Texans and the Houston Texans. And I say it that way because the Tennessee Titans have changed their Twitter profile and all their social media to the Houston Oiler Derek.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to wear the Houston Oiler uniforms for this game.
Mm-hmm.
That draws a middle finger from Greg Shelton. I'm taking Houston. Houston needs to win this game. Houston needs to play good football. Houston needs to look like they remember what they're doing, why they won their division. They're a playoff team. They don't have anything to play for. Part of me thinks you should rest them. I found it interesting talking with Indy Kalu earlier that, playing devil's advocate, do you rest your guys? Because if you play your starters and lose to Tennessee, that's even worse.
It is, but you've got to get right going into the playoffs. They've lost two of you can't go in on a 3-game losing streak, and one of those being to Tennessee. And trust me, the McNairs want to give the middle finger to the Adams family just as much as the Adams family are giving the middle finger to the Texans by doing this 2 years in a row.
And if the Titans win, that affects where they draft. And so, the Adams family would love to win, but they also want that top 5 pick. Although Reinagle is taking the Titans, no surprise, he's a Titan fan. All of us are taking the Washington football team to beat the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Although, honestly, if the Cowboys were to win this game, I would not be surprised. Now, if Trey Lance wins this, I would be surprised. But if it is Cooper Rush, and they did beat Washington, they beat them already, that sends you into the offseason feeling good because at least you beat those SOBs, and that's all that really matters. But I would not put money on that. I would take Washington.
It feels a lot like Trey Lance is getting this start. And the last time we saw him in game action, he threw 4 in the preseason?
I think it was 5. It could have been 8. But who's counting? It's preseason. Those stats don't count.
Plus, a loss could end Dallas as high as the 11th pick if things fall right.
Detroit and Minnesota on Sunday night. A game that you can listen to here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. It's the best game on the schedule, and we got to wait all day for Sunday night football. Both Reinagle and myself are taking the Detroit Lions to win this game at home and clinch the 1 seed.
I think the injuries on defense are too much. I love their offense. I love how much they go for it on 4th down. But, man, and I think Kevin O'Connell's going to win Coach of the Year, and this will be the feather in the cap to it. I think that the injuries on Detroit's defense are too much to overcome.
And if Detroit wins this game, so you're taking the Vikings.
Yes.
We're taking Detroit at home. I would say Dan Campbell, with everything he's juggled injury-wise, could win Coach of the Year. In fact, Coach of the Year could be decided by this game. That is Prime Picks here on the Blitz on this Friday night. Let's talk some Spurs basketball.
This is Game Night San Antonio on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Vassell, step back 3.
Every game night, the Blitz with Jason and Joe get you inside and ready for tonight's game.
Johnson.
Players, coaches, insiders. This is Game Night San Antonio.
Wembanyama!
And the pregame starts right now.
Spurs and Nuggets tonight in Denver, 8 o'clock start time. So you got plenty of time to get near a TV for this one. In a bit of a milestone game that I didn't realize until Michael C. Wright had an article that this is game number 100 for Victor. You think about last year, the games that he played, what he's played so far this year. He's got 99 under his belt, and this is game 100. He's got a great article Michael C. Wright does on ESPN.com looking at the moments for Victor through 100 games. And you think about it, through 99 games, he's already got 2,238 points, 1,035 rebounds, 382 assists, 364 blocks, and 221 three-pointers made. Pretty solid first 100 for one Victor Wembanyama.
It's and the blocks one is the one that really gets me when you say he's got over 300 something blocks in his first 100 games.
He's got 364. The fact that he's got 382 assists and 364 blocks. I'd like to see that block number go up a little bit more. Hell, he is 9 feet tall. But for him to have as many blocks as assists, I think that should be something he should strive for while not declining on the assist numbers that he is getting. I mean, you got to have teammates make shots for you to get assists, but they're just astounding. And again, I think this is why I've been so adamant. Like, I am tired of losing. They're a game over 500. I expected them to be near 500 this year, so they're on pace. But I feel like they've given away 4 or 5 games. If they had those wins, they would be probably the 5th or 6th seed right now. Because of what you're seeing from Wemby, I expect more wins there. I know they're coming. I know this guy's going to win championships. I just want to do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, this team, I want to see them get on a roll. I want to see wins strung together and beating quality opponents, and Denver definitely qualifies into that quality opponent mix. And remember, Wemby, with a bunch of scrubs surrounding him at the end of the season last year, upset Denver's chance of getting that number 1 seed.
And again, I look at this Denver team. They didn't have a great start to this year, but they're playing good basketball now. They've won 8 of 11, and it's that quirky part of the schedule. They get Denver tonight in Denver, and then Denver tomorrow night here in San Antonio. Although they don't share a plane on the way here, but they could. And I wonder how you juggle this one if things get out of hand for either team tonight, knowing that you're playing the same team the next night. Just weird in the schedule when you see it that way, but should be a fun game. And anytime you get Wemby, although they probably won't match up a lot against Joker, but when you're playing an MVP, that always seems to elevate Wemby's game. I'm looking forward to see what he does tonight against Spurs and Nuggets. Checking in on football before we go, Texas State leading North Texas 23-14 with about 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter of the First Responders Bowl, a game that you can listen to over on San Antonio's ESPN AM 1250, brought to you by the Break Room Bar and Live Oak, Smoky Mo's Barbecue, and Ewald Kubota. That's going to do it for us here at the South Texas RV Super Show, happening all weekend long till 8 o'clock tonight, 10 to 8 on Saturday, and on Sunday, they're open from 10 until 6. Extra innings with Pledge coming up next here on 941 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville.